What up, people? What's good? Salute, salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics, comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. We're a niche channel. Reserved for the best. It's super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at @6th_element_comic. We do live auctions, live claim sales. I rock with Tooth and Claw, hit animated television series. The Scotty Young joint, blowing up fast. X-23. So this is dope, man. All right, so this is beautiful, beautiful. Yo. What up, everybody? It is October 4th, 10/4, everybody. And
What's up?
This is my man Cooks 24 on my left, your right. And I am Reno Noir. This is the sixth element of hip hop. And this is our show on Mondays, hip hop and comics. Our co-host Stu Dog is in the wings. He'll be popping in shortly. But we gotta get to this Wu-Tang American Saga, y'all. We gotta start. We gotta chop it up. Because this thing is getting epic. This thing is getting epic. Cooks, man, what do you think, man, about this last episode, brother?
You know what I mean, man? Like, it's been this episode right here, you know, kind of like open up the floodgates, you know what I mean? Like whatever parts of the story is, you know, what they put in, and what, you know, what's for TV is for TV, but giving us
Right.
the you know, saying the inner recipe to how, you know, they came up with the beat, or how RZA came up with the beat, and
That was dope.
what everybody was thinking,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, writing their verses, you know what I'm saying, the reason why, you know what I'm saying, Ghost took so long to write his verse, you know what I mean, the placement, the little like the situations that go on in the studio, you know what I'm saying, when you're trying to put a song together, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I also liked just seeing how, you know, Power and Divine, you know, being the marketing and the money power behind them. How
Mhm.
it was, because it's like I didn't seen and been in that situation where, you know, people are like, okay, let's use what we already got. We got so much stuff already. And then it's
Mhm.
like, nah, we gotta come up with something brand
Some
new.
fresh.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That was real cool right there. I liked it. That was one part that knowing the little bit of history that I know, that was great to hear. See.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was dope seeing them, seeing, how they got together. And like we talked about before, it's not like a documentary. This isn't exactly, word for word how things happen, but it give you the idea, that they
Mm-hmm.
would sit down and they would try to come up with in this one they were trying to come up with what's the single, I always thought the single was Method Man, but it wasn't. It was Protect Your Neck. And it was
Mm-hmm.
dope to see that and see how RZA, like you said, wanted to come up with something new, something fresh, to make it something that no one had ever heard before, something out of the blue, And it was dope watching that live, that process, how they visualized it, you know what I mean? They had, the like they set this little scene up, right? And you got he's taking the sounds out one by one, and you see the band members disappear and appear, and he visualizes, his uncle pops in and he's sitting there with him and conversing with him in his head. It's like we got to look inside RZA's head, you know what I mean? Like while he was making the beat, that was ill. He was, changing the speeds, and Unc say, you tearing it up, man. And he broke it down. He was like, nah, that's just your perception. He's like,
Yeah.
you think I'm destroying it, but really I'm building something new. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Take it all away, start again, double up 2 guitars, and add another record. And it was funny, man, the way they visually showed it with the actors and the characters. You know what I'm saying? Like the drummer and the guitarist arguing, and the 2 drummers, trying to one up each other. That was great. And I'm like, I'm not hearing Protect Your Neck yet. Like I'm waiting to hear him create this beat, and I'm waiting to hear that that old sound that I know, you know what I'm saying? That protect your neck beat, but I'm not hearing it. And I'm like, man. And then Ghost, he Ghost seemed mad nervous. You know what I mean? Like and that was dope too. Like you said, it showed him, what took him so long. And I always thought, because you know how he always said, I was always wondering, like, why did he say that? Not long is
Mhm.
how long this rhyme took me. I
Mhm.
was like, who says that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's crazy is that it did take him a long time.
Yeah, it really did. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
That was
mhm.
dope to know. That was dope to find out like that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
absolutely. Absolutely. And then they choose like the best lyricists, to visualize the lyrics with
Mhm.
Spectre Deck. So we got him, like RZA, we was visualizing the beat. And then with Deck, we visualized the how he was writing the lyrics, and he brought the spray paint out and he was just doing graffiti on the wall. And it was kind of like how he was throwing his darts out, and just, graffiti style, and then, going back to Ghost, and he's still not ready. And then Ray, my guy Ray just drops in, he ready, he just kill it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Ghost take off and goes in his mind, and you see him, intimidated by that was a dope scene where he was walking through the gauntlet of the other members, on the sides, and he was like walking up, and seeing them on his left and on his right. Stu Dog, what's up, man?
What's up, man? What's going
What's
on?
going
What's
on?
going
What
on?
up, Stu, man?
Oh, man, we just chopping.
Cooks.
What's going on, dog?
What's going on, man? Nothing, man. I'm trying to be
Oh,
like y'all one day, rich. You know what I mean? And Republicans.
where you?
This month.
Where you just come from? Where you just come
I was
from
that's
again?
what I was just
Where
gonna
you just
say.
come from again?
I was just
I
gonna say that.
Hey, I'm
I've been
I'm
I've
just
been
trying to
punching the
be like
clock.
yo. Oh,
Where
you
you
were
Yeah.
been?
hey, well, hey, listen.
So
Sometimes that's what a Republican got to do. Black
See what
Republicans
I'm
punching the
saying?
clock,
I
getting it
told you,
done,
man. I don't follow
making the
nobody, man.
decisions, making the
No.
decisions. You know what I mean? Putting the best foot forward, moving the
Oh
country along in
Lord.
a progressive manner,
Stu
just
Dog
Oh,
back
conducive
from the
of us just
volcano.
prospering. Yes,
he
sir.
made
I
it
was at the
on. He
volcano
made it
state, man.
on.
I had a great time out there, man. They got there's some really good comic stores out there, man. Not a
Yeah.
lot, but they do. Yeah, they got some. They have one store out there. It's not. I can't even explain. It was like walking. I tell you what, it was like a nerdgasm. Like if you walk
Wow.
in there, when I say they had everything, they had everything.
Look at
Video
everything.
games, collectibles, comics, all in one spot.
Yeah.
They even had a spot like a back room where you can go play Dungeons and Dragons,
Right.
card games. Like it was,
Yeah. Play
I,
Magic and
I,
stuff.
yeah, bro. It was phenomenal. Man. It was like
See that?
nothing I've ever
I
seen.
always thought about like when I'm trying to find a great comic store, it's like you want to find one that's secluded, and it
Right?
don't get no more secluded than the island of Hawaii. You know what I mean? Like there's no states touching it. Ain't nobody driving
No,
in there buying up all the
no,
issues and driving.
no. Yeah, driving right. Yeah, no, none of
Yeah,
that. None of
none
that.
of that.
I picked up Gunslinger Spawn while I was there because Gunslinger
Mm,
Spawn was a hot comic last week.
yeah,
So I picked it up, and there was plenty of issues, no lines. Everybody came and got their comments in peace and said
right.
mahalo. And that was it, bro. It
Hollow
was a good time. It was a
word.
good time, bro. It was a
Mm-hmm.
good time.
I bet.
And speaking of comics, the Cook's pick of the week is the current
Uh-oh.
Batman series, issues 110, 111, and Batman Volume 3, number 100, which is the origin of
Clown Hunter,
Ghostmaker. No,
Ghostmaker. That's
Ghostmaker.
right. Ghostmaker.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ghostmaker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm
So you
I'm on
guys been reading
point.
any comics? I've been doing a lot of reading, man. Have you guys read the Tom Taylor Dark Ages?
No,
Yes.
I haven't. I
Yo,
missed it.
Yes.
yes.
We're gonna get into
Cooks.
we gotta finish
Cooks.
talking about Wu-Tang though right now. We still
Okay,
in
all
the
right,
Wu-Tang, so
let's get on the Wu
I
Tang.
know
Let's
people
I'm
waiting.
sorry, I came in late. Let's get on the Wu Tang. Let's do it.
That's cool. That's cool.
Because you got the number one Wu-ologist in the building. What's up?
So we was just to the part where Ghostface is walking through the kind of the gauntlet of the other members. They're standing because we're in Ghost's mind at this time. He's trying to write his verse and he's having writer's block, and so we go in his mind, and it was dope to illustrate how they showed that he was like not intimidated by the other members, but they was all looking at him Like, yeah, motherfucker, you better come hard because I'm gonna murder you. You know what I mean? Like, you better come with it. And that's how they've described it in a lot of the documentaries. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they've always like they're writing for each other. They're trying to one up the other members. It's not like how a lot of groups trying to one up the other groups or other rappers. They within their own crew. They feel like those are the 9 best rappers in the world. So if I'm gonna impress anybody, it's gonna be these other 8 dudes. And then you really got to see that in this episode, man. I really dug how they illustrated that, and played it out, acted it out, and then Old Dirty, he comes in and he brings his verse, and RZA's like, let me see that shit, and he reads it, and he's like, man, you wrote this shit when you was 13, man. Nah, you gotta come with some new. And thank God he did, because Old Dirty's verse on Protect Your Neck is one of Dirt's best verses, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Dirt dropped
Yeah,
that. He dropped that on Protect Your Neck.
killed that.
I will.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Cause it's one of the most sampled uh, parts of that song too. Like because people sample that song a lot, but
Oh yeah.
Dirt's chants and everything on there is one of the most sampled ones I've ever heard off of that song.
Hell yeah, that's one of my favorite Dirty verses, man. And he was gonna come with some old shit, and RZA was like, "Nah, everything on this track gotta be new," because that was the whole reason for Protect Your Neck. They was trying to come up with the single, and Divine and Power. They was like, "Well, let's use Method Man or let's use Tears," you know what I mean? But he was like, "Nah, we gotta build some shit from the ground up. This gonna be the single. I want everybody on it. Everyone got a verse on this track." And I don't even care about no hook as long as everybody get a verse. And he made everybody go in the booth and lay their shit down. And Ghost was the only one that was like having trouble writing, and he took off and all of that. And it's funny, like I was saying in his verse, he's like, not wrong, not long is how long that this rhyme took me. And he took a long time to write that rhyme. Like it was probably the longest that anybody took.
Mhm.
Ever took. Well, Ghost is notorious for having writer's block. In an interview, I
Oh,
think after he came out with Ghost Dini or Bulletproof Wallets, one of those two albums,
uh-huh.
right before he got off of Def Jam, um, he was saying, or I think it was either before he got on Def Jam or when he got off, he was saying that he had writer's block. Like he was having a hard time really putting something together because Ghost drops real consistently out
That's
of the
what I was gonna
blue.
say. That's
Yeah,
surprising to
he's
hear.
the most
Got
consistent.
so
Yeah,
many
he's the
albums.
most consistent dropper. Yeah,
Boom, boom. Yeah.
yeah. So he had writer's block, and he talked about that. He talked about how Def Jam was on him for the album, and he was
Mhm.
like, he had writer's block, and he said he didn't write nothing for like almost a year before he
Yeah.
finally dropped. Wrote drop. I forget which album it was. I gotta look it up. I think
It was.
it's either got to be Bulletproof Wallets or it's got to be
I'm gonna throw
one of
in. I
those.
believe. I believe it's bulletproof wireless. You right. You right. I believe it's bulletproof wireless because when he came with Ghost Dini, that's when he started. He took off again. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But the
yeah,
albums were more like Ghost Dini. They wasn't like Bulletproof Wireless and the one before that one. It was more him, not like him feeling better about himself. So he just
Yeah.
started just unloading. So you right.
yeah,
Pretty Tony,
yeah,
Pretty Tony,
yeah.
and
Pretty
yeah,
Tony and all that. Yeah, the
Hell,
fish scales. Remember he had fish scales and
yeah,
all that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he did
yeah,
like three different fish scales because
yeah.
you
He
got the
just
mixtape.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got fish scales 1 and 2. Then you got the mixtapes, and you got like
Right.
two different versions of the mixtapes. Because I
Ghost got
think
Mhm.
J
too many
Love
names.
put because J Love put out a version, and then you got the regular mixtape. So you got a J Love version of fish scales too. I think it's
Yep.
called like More Fish. I think it's
More
called like
fish,
More Fish or something. Yeah,
more
More
fish.
Fish or something like that. Yeah, I got all those joints. I got every last one
I
of
got all. I mean, you already know I got everything, everything,
them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. You go in if
everything.
you're a woologist, you got all that. Only
You got
woologists
you
is
got
gonna
to.
have all that. I don't know if Cook's got all that. I really don't. But
Cooks a Woo banger. Cooks love Wu, man. He's recently gotten into really getting deep into him, listening to the words and really
That's
studying on
deep.
okay.
talking about and all of that shit. So he's
You know
I
what I'm
always
saying?
thought I always thought Cooks was more like down with like PM Dawn or
I
like
like him. I like
I
or
him.
like
I
I like
fuck with
PM
PM
Dawn.
Dawn.
or,
I
or
fuck
I
like
with
like
PM
I
Dawn.
PM
thought
Dawn.
I always thought Cooks was down with like PM Dawn or like UGK or something like that.
I like.
Oh, you
Hey,
talking
I like
about
that. I
like
like.
yeah, Southern
I'm
shit.
a. I like. Even though I'm from down south, like born and raised. You know what I'm saying? My ear was always. I could always connect with different stuff. Like I like. Like I like a lot of different music. Like I start like like my favorite. My be honest with you, my first favorite artist ever was Janet Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like when I got
Mm,
my headphone, my first Walkman, and my little headphones,
right.
Janet Jackson, Rhythm
Right.
Nation. I stayed
Rhythm
bumping
Nation.
that tape. I stayed bumping
Yeah,
that tape.
yeah. That was some fire.
Yo, Rhythm
That,
Nation. Yo, I'm gonna
that
be
was some
honest with you. When I was in high school and they came out Rhythm, I had to listen to the album because I just wanted to know what the big deal. Like
yeah,
everybody and their mother was bumping Rhythm Nation. If
yeah.
you had a system in your car, that joint was driving. It was driving by with Rhythm Nation,
Rhythm
and then she
Nation.
had that long. She had that super long video, with them dancing, doing all the moves and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I was like, this
Yep.
is. I had never seen nothing like that before, man. I
But
was like, yo,
in the South, like in the South, we was more eclectic with our taste. Like we wasn't like in the East, it was you listen to New York rap, that was it. And then in the South, you listen to LA, shit. And then, the Northwest had their, Do or Die and Twister and all of that. But in the South, we listened to all of it. We loved all of
right.
it. And we had our
Man,
Southern rappers too. But we love New York shit. We love LA shit. We love Crucial
You know
Conflict
what?
and all of that.
I wish it was still like that, man. Where everybody, it's the industry. Really, the industry is shady, man. Like
Internet,
when Q-Tip say that,
social
when
media.
Q-Tip said that, that was the truest line anybody ever heard in any song, any rap, any verse. You know what I mean? He's like record industry number 4,080. Record companies are shady. That's true because
Yeah.
right now they winning. And they got everybody thinking that whatever's on the internet and that's what we supposed to be listening to. But there was a
hmm
time we listened to everything, man. Like
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh, I feel like the West
Well,
Coast today, so you would pop in your
that's
West Coast
yeah. That was the
or
thing
you're
though. We
down
had that.
south, yeah,
We
yeah, you
had
had that.
regional
Yeah,
we had regional music, like, there was different sounds, but now with social media and everything is melded into this one sound. It's a little bit South, it's a little
right,
bit Chicago, it's a little bit you know what I'm saying? But it's this one sorta it's the internet sound, you know what I mean? We don't have that
yeah,
real
yeah.
regional
We don't have
like,
that
you
anymore.
don't
Yeah,
know
that region.
like, when you used to hear somebody come out, you knew that where he was from. Like,
That's
just off
true.
top, hearing the music, hearing the beat, the accent, you know what I mean? All of that, you knew, okay, there's some New York shit, or this guy from Cali. Now you have no idea where these kids from,
And
'cause
I give you
Right.
another,
they all got auto.
I'll give you another crazy fact. Another crazy fact. Being from Alabama, you know what I'm saying? Like for instance, like when you're talking about regions, like even in the South, certain states they got they rappers, got they peoples, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like Georgia, Virginia,
Florida,
Tennessee,
Miami.
Texas,
Yeah.
but like Alabama, you know, nobody that well, I ain't gonna say nobody, but the certain rapper artists that came from Alabama, they didn't make it to the so to say mountaintop. But that's another
Right.
reason why people in Alabama, just to say our state, our music, people like so many
Listen to
different stuff. It's
everything
people,
'cause it
it's
Yeah,
people
wasn't
in
from
no
Alabama.
everywhere.
Alabama
Yeah,
You know
sound.
what I mean? Like it's people in
yeah, that's
Alabama
true.
that just like West Coast music, like just like West Coast music. It's some
Yeah,
around here
yeah, I
that
can
just
believe
like
that.
East Coast. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But then you got ones like me that like it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What now,
So
Cooks? Who Alabama was? What rapper? I can't think of a rapper came out of
Who's the
Alabama.
rapper
Who?
from Alabama?
the
Yeah,
the
who's from
best
Alabama?
like the best ones I can think of right now, you know what I'm saying? Like off the top, Gucci Mane, he's from Alabama. But
Really?
Gucci from Alabama? Really?
he
Nah,
really from
stop.
yeah, yeah. Look it up.
Yeah.
Google it, look it
Are you
up. Yeah, he
serious?
really
No,
from
I
Alabama.
believe you.
For
I
No,
always
real.
I
thought
believe you.
Gucci was from. I always thought
Atlanta.
Gucci was from like.
I thought he was from
I
Louisiana
thought.
or Atlanta.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was from
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana or something like that. Yeah,
They
or
from
ATL.
Alabama.
No,
Uh
stop.
you know what I'm saying, the Dirty Boys, they from Alabama, you know what I'm saying? And the thing about the
Okay, I
Dirty
heard it.
Boys
I heard it.
was
Dirty Boys.
I
I
never
heard
and
heard
them.
of
like they first album, like for us, it's like a classic album for
the
us
anthem.
because
Yeah, right.
it's just the anthems and the stuff they were saying at the time for the South, especially Alabama. It was really what was going on, but
Right.
they didn't make it to the like.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
down south. Remember, like you got the Source Awards, where down south also had an award show like that, but we only had like 3 or 4 of them. They probably made it to the last show, and then it
Mhm.
was
Right.
like after that, it was all over with. You know what I'm saying? Doe B, but Doe B got killed. He was on his way. You know what I'm saying? Like he was on his way, but he went back to the hood, got killed. You know what I'm saying? He was up on the Ti. He was on his way. Uh, it might be 2 or 3 more that I'm missing, You know what I'm saying? Like old dude that won the first
Was it? Ain't some of
American
the
Idol.
3-6?
American Idol.
Ain't some of the 3-6 Mafia? Ain't they from Alabama? A couple of them,
It's only two of
Uh
them.
or one of them? Nah, it
It's
was a
only
bunch
I,
of them when they first
nah. It's
started.
Juicy J and
Now it's only nah.
it's
You
Juicy
still you had
J.
Project
Mafia.
Yeah,
Pat,
you
yeah,
got a whole
Crunchy Black,
hypnotized. Yeah, Crunchy
Project Black,
Black,
yeah, the Hypnotized Posse, yeah. There's a
Lord
bunch of them, bro.
Infamous,
Nah,
like
yeah,
some
but
are
that's
like
Lord
one,
their
two of them
Infamous,
dead.
yeah,
other.
Gangsta Boo,
That's
yeah,
their
you got
affiliate
Gangsta
group and
Boo.
shit. Yeah, nah, yeah, I
No,
know
that's
that.
no,
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 no, no
no,
affiliate.
no,
So
no,
That's
no,
it.
okay,
no.
so the group
There's no
3-6
affiliate.
Mafia, those are the members of the group. Every album,
Right.
they're on every album.
Every album, right, right. And then
See, I
as
always
time
heard
went
like
on,
Project Pat was separate. I always thought these cats
no.
were
If you
separate.
listen to
Oh,
their very first album, Project Pat is on there, Crunchy Black is on there,
Lord
Gangsta Boo is on
Infamous.
there, all of the yeah, Lord Infamous, all of them are on there. And then as time went on, they branched off and did their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
right.
I mean, so you only got there was an album they put out. I mean, Cooks was it called?
Which
The
one?
last the last something. It was like the last surviving members. Like it was something like about the last members or something like that. Or
Yeah,
I
I
know
core or
thought
what
it
you're
was
something.
talking about.
Juicy J and what's his name?
Oh,
You
It's
know what I'm
Juicy
talking about?
J and what's my man name? The DJ.
Yeah,
Uh
Prince Paul or something. Paul, yeah, ain't that his name?
yeah, something Paul,
Juicy
something
J,
Paul.
Juicy J, Juicy J.
It's
That's
Juicy
Nah, I
the
J and the
said
DJ.
other
that.
one.
I said that. I
It's
said
Juicy
Juicy
J and
J
the other one.
and Prince
DJ
Paul.
Paul. DJ
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 Paul.
Paul.
Paul, right. At one point it was only DJ Paul and Juicy J. That was
Mm-hmm.
it. And now it's just
That's
Juicy
the group.
J.
LeChat,
Right.
you know what I mean?
DJ
Yeah,
Paul.
but yeah, but Project Pat, all of them, they was on all those albums. They was on Tear the Club Up. That's when they were all together. I don't know what happened, but they just
I mean, yeah, but like how Goody Mob is on, Outcast. They're not part of Outcast.
they're not part of Outkast, right?
Outcast is Big Boy and Andre.
Now I'm gonna
Period.
keep
Like
it
three
real.
six.
I thought
Hey,
now Reno, I thought when they
Dungeon
came out,
Family.
right? I thought they was one group. I used
Yeah,
to think
everybody did.
Outkast. Yeah, I
Goody
thought
Mob,
Outkast and Goody
everybody
Mob
did.
was one group. Yeah,
Everybody
I
did.
literally thought they was. I thought they was a whole group. I never when they split off and then I started listening to them. I said, oh man, they two separate groups. I thought they was one entity together.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody did because they were unknown still, and so when they dropped that album and they were all on it, you're gonna assume that's the group.
Yeah,
Man,
I
3 6
did.
Mafia
I
got so
really
many
did.
albums. Three
And
six
where
three six Mafia 3 6 Mafia got albums going all the way back to 95.
They
Yeah.
do.
Oh
They
yeah.
Yeah,
do. Yeah, they
all the way to
do. And
95.
I think I got like I don't have all of them, but I got a majority of them. Cause like remember we were talking about doing the verses, and I was like, if you did the verses and you go by hit, 3-6 Mafia, they got mad hits.
They got some jams,
Cause
cuz. They
they got anthems, bro. They
Yeah,
got
yeah.
they got straight anthems. Like
Absolutely.
it's hard
Grammy,
to
they got
even.
Grammy music. They got Grammy
Yeah, they
music.
do. Yeah,
Got
they want a
Grammy
Grammy off
music.
of one of they
On a
want a
Grammy.
Grammy off of one of them joints.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Grammy
it's like,
music now.
yeah, if it's we're not gonna get into that, but I would still go with Outkast. If it was Outkast versus 3-6, I would go Outkast. But that's
You go
just me.
Outkast.
Absolutely. Hands down. No question. But
Depending
that's
on
just
what
because I like
songs. Depending what songs. I gotta know what
and
songs been played.
it depends on like is it be the banger that hits, the banger hits, or is it just like the real
From
because really
Outkast?
But
I
he said
can't
it was
see.
fun.
I like Outkast. I can't.
Outkast got too many anthems, dog.
Their Outkast. All right, Outkast is original.
For us,
Original.
in
Yeah, for us it would be like
Florida Outkast was everything. It was Goody Mob and Cass. That was everything for a while.
it was big at one
See,
time, man. Like
see,
they was super big at one
now
time.
see, now see how he said that. See how he said that, Stu. Now think about it, Alabama. We either got one. We got one half going 3-6. We got one half going Outcast. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Then you still got UGK over there. Then you still got A Ball MJG up there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
now we definitely rock with Ball and G, like hard, and Tila, like all the Suave House cats, all the Swisher House cats. You know what I mean?
Man.
Yeah, like Paul Wall and all of them. You know, DJ Michael Watts, DJ Screw, like Screw tapes, man. That's all we. Yo, the South was different. The South
You
was
remember Lil White? You remember Lil White?
yeah,
Lil White.
yep. Yeah, man. But then they got Zero, Chameleonaire, Like it's cats, man, that are phenomenal. Trader Truth is my dog. I rock with Trader Truth.
Even go all the way back to DJ Screw. You know what I mean?
That's what I said. Yeah, man. Them screw tapes, man. That was crazy, man. Like that's all you heard was slowed down, screwed up shit
But
coming out,
but
coming out.
back to I know we got out, but back to the Wu-Tang.
Yes.
So what as far as what's your favorite as far as all the episodes, what's your favorite thing about it so far? What are you enjoying about it so far?
Yeah. Well, this one, I mean, this. You mean the whole season, or just what I like
Yeah,
about this episode?
just the
The whole
build
season.
ups and all that.
It's yeah. It's all this season is all about the construction of 36 chambers. It's all about 36 chambers, how it was built.
Right. Yeah. That's
How
all they. Yeah. It's how they formed and made
season
the
one
album
was
and the whole thing. Yeah.
yeah, season one was how they
Got
what they all
together.
went through before they got together. Season
Yeah.
two, they get together in the beginning, really get together as a group on the ferry, and then the ferry back and forth from Staten Island to New York. And then this last episode was well, the episode before this, where they recorded Method Man and how that was recorded, how they set up the studio in Ghost's apartment and all of that. And then this episode was recording Protect Your Neck, but you see it building 36 chambers. They're already talking about Tears and Method Man, so they've already got songs, done. They just haven't put out a single yet. And this episode was about them creating that single, Protect the Neck. And it was dope too because like
Now,
it
did
showed.
they talk about now Reno? Did they talk about the fact that they pressed that up themselves? Because they had the original single. I have the original single.
Yeah, on the
It's a
on
white, yeah,
the
on
white
cassette.
label,
It's a white, yeah, with a white
the
cover,
white
and
cover
it's
with the drawing,
yeah,
like it's like a
with the
drawing,
drawing
hand
on it. Yeah, it's like a drawing.
sure.
Yeah, I still have
Yeah,
that joint. Yeah.
yeah.
Now, did they
I
talk
know
about that?
they
That
Because
tape go
they
ahead, Cook.
get it's they
yeah,
get for me I say that they get into it is certain
Yeah.
things that Divine said, and certain thing that Power said, and a certain thing that RZA done said or Bobby's done said that's that's getting to that point. And I'm glad you said that because that kind of remind me. Okay, I remember him saying, Divine saying that when mathematics get that drawing right, this is what's he telling Power. This is what's gonna be on top of everything. Like this what this gonna be us. Like this gonna be our calling
Logo.
card. This where the money
Yeah.
gonna come in at. This where you gonna get your bread back at. So
He said he
that
wanted
part
to
right
look like
there,
the bat symbol.
yeah.
Something just iconic. When you see it, you know what it is, and that's it right there. When you see that W, you know it's like the bat
Easter
signal.
egg. It's so many Easter eggs throughout
Yeah,
every episode. It's crazy,
yeah.
man. Like,
Like I like how they use music from like Forever, the double CD. They're using
hmm
music from that to tell stories, like lyrics out of it. They got like a dude playing the violin in the background, and he's playing from the double CD.
Triumph.
yeah,
Yeah,
triumphant.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was dope how he was doing it. He'll stop and
Yeah,
look at it. And then he'll take
yeah,
off walking. I'm like, yeah, I know. I see what y'all doing.
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Because mathematics said when he made the Wu symbol, he said he went up on the roof, smoked the L, and that's how he came up with it. He said I just drew it. And he said he
Hmm.
gave it to RZA, and RZA was like, "That's still." I think RZA paid him $800
He
for
gave
the.
him so that's what's dope is that's another thing about this episode. It's all about mathematics doing that logo too. Shout out Miss Cooley in the building. Miss Cooley, salute y'all.
Miss Kool Aid, salute.
What's up,
But
Yeah,
Miss
because he
yeah,
said
Cole?
it's
that's the
all
most,
about
and you know that, yeah, that's the most
he,
recognized symbol in the world.
yeah, damn
Yeah.
near. Well, he takes so they show him bringing in drawings that he's doing, logos that he's coming up with, and he's bringing them to Divine, and it's like dudes with their heads cut off and sword fights and like full care, guys and stuff, and Divine's like, no, bro, like it got to be symbolic, like got to be a logo. It can't be so busy. It's so much going on in these drawings, like it's a lot of detail. And he's like, well, I don't know. I'm just trying to do what y'all want. RZA comes walking by and he's like, yo, just make this shit simple, dog. Like, just simple. And he's like, all right, man, I'm waiting for them to pay me because Divine and Power are arguing about having to pay mathematics more money to keep doing these designs. And he's like, man, I'm waiting for them to pay me. And RZA just go in his pocket and he's like, here, and this is the rent. This is Riz's rent for the apartment, the studio, everything. It was the rent money. We learned how it was hard for him to come by that rent money, and he just goes here and just gives it to him. And he's like, do your thing, and rolls out. And that's when he told him, keep it simple. And he drew the W that we've known, since then. It's been their logo, and it's crazy to see that. Did y'all catch that Big Baby Jesus reference? Yes, Miss Cooley.
Yes,
That was
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we
that was
caught that. Yeah, we caught that. Yeah,
so when
yeah,
the housekeeper, no, she's not the housekeeper. She's the manager of the
Mm-hmm.
building. Yeah, she's the manager of the building. So Ghost is down in the basement smoking an L with the manager lady. Not Ghost. I'm sorry. ODB. And she said Big Baby. She said Baby Jesus in Spanish to him. How was the I forget what it was, but he was like, yeah, that's dope. Like I like that. And that was like a little, yeah, I love that part too. That was like a Easter egg, man. You know what I'm saying? Because oh, okay, that's how you got Big Baby Jesus. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man, I love those Easter eggs. That's one thing I like about this series. Like you know, yeah, we all live that. We all live these times, and this show is really more for the youth today to get an understanding of the Wu-Tang. That's the way I look at it. And it's also for me, the way I see this show is it's like a merchandise item, right? It's like there's t-shirts, there's statues, there's albums, there's posters, there's this series, there's lunch boxes. You know what I mean? Like it's another thing. It's another item, another piece of merchandise from the Woo. That's the way I look at the show. Like it's not educating me per se on anything. It's not a documentary, you know.
right,
And like you were saying, Stu, like, you live that, but it's not really to relive it. It's to me, for me, I use it. I look at it like I said, like it's another product, like a little thing, a little like some woo wear. You know what I mean? Like
right.
like like, like this jacket.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
That's
But
that
but
introduction,
but to watch it, I don't. It's like all right, when they came with the NWA movie, like to watch it, like I lived all that. Like I was, like you might like for me when I watched it, I could see what them trying to tell the story what they were going through. But the
right?
only thing that was that was resonating in my mind was where I was at the time when that
Right,
happened or this happened
right.
or like that's like watching it like even watching the Wu-Tang joint it's like that. It's just
Well,
resonating in my mind like damn where was I at that time or I can think about what I was doing. So I
yeah.
mean more relevant
It's
to
not as much like Raising Canaan, like that show. That's really showing you what Queens in the 80s was like. It really is showing you what the hood in Queens during the 80s is like. It's really giving you that vibe. The Woo show, I feel like
yeah,
it's fan service, bro. This Woo show is fan service.
yeah,
If you're a
yeah, we
fan,
gotta
they're
get
just giving you Easter eggs. Every fucking scene, there's an Easter egg. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
really it's why it's like merch. It's like merch,
It's like
but
merch, yeah.
it's bringing the new kids in though. Like you like Dave East and like the young actors that kids today, young people might be fans of and stuff, playing the roles. I like how they're doing all of that. I love they brought Dave East in, uh and Joey Badass, which it sucks that he left the Woo show, but he's killing it on Kanan. Like that character he
Right.
got on Kanan was obviously a much bigger role. He was smart for taking it. You know what I'm saying? I know it broke his heart to have to leave the Woo show. I know that killed him. But
Miss Cooley
Yeah,
got a
yeah, I heard it.
question.
Yeah, I heard you. Yeah,
Miss
what's up, Miss
Miss,
Cooley?
she got a question down there for y'all, for us.
oh, quiz. What was the first album RZA used when he was lifting the beats? Whose father is a member of that group? And what was the first album he used when he was doing that?
The sample
Yeah, in the show. I think that's what she's asking. What was the first album that he used when he was sampling in the
The
beginning
one
of the
that he,
show?
the one he found in that record store.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking she means. Remember that grimy that fuck boy was
Yep.
was in
She
there,
said,
yeah,
yeah.
trying to creep his what he was
Damn,
buying,
what was
trying
the
to
name
prove
of
what he
that?
was buying and shit. What did he get? It was
I was just looking at it. I was just looking at it. Them dudes on that cover with them white suits on, them suits on. What was the name of it?
right. It was
Oh, I know what that's the. Oh, that was the
What was the?
Commodores.
nah. It
That was the
Okay.
wasn't nobody.
Commodores.
Wasn't
Huh?
nobody like. It wasn't nobody like the Commodores or the.
Oh, it was James. Oh, I'm my bad. It was James Ingram. It was James
It was
Ingram's.
mad obscure.
It was James Ingram's first album.
Was it Miss Cooley? Was it James Ingram? And if so, whose father was a member of the James Ingram band? I don't think that's what.
Nah, I don't know. I don't know. If she tell me the song, I probably could tell you the sample,
Nah, because it
but
was.
just for the album.
I mean, I don't. I'd have to go back and look
I
into it.
know. I know. Tears is from a song by
No, this question you had to see the episode. This she's talking about. It was only in the episode. It's not what they use in any song that we know. So if you missed the episode,
she just talking about she talking about the album the album cover
that
that
he
he had.
used in the episode, right?
Oh, okay.
The main ingredient. The main ingredient.
I remember what that was to save my life. And I was looking at it. I was looking right at it.
Word, help us out in the chat, y'all. Because the
I was
first,
looking right at it.
why she gotta come? Wait, why she gotta come with that? Why she couldn't come with like a woo question?
A woo question about some shit we know from the album.
Yeah, like why we couldn't get
Hey,
like a woo joint?
That's a good one to know, though.
It is.
I mean, listen. I mean, I ain't knocking her.
it
It is a good one. You're right. No, it is. But
I'm gonna tell you what's so dope about it.
She
though,
threw a left. She threw a curveball from left field.
Yeah, this is good trivia though, because this is actually the song that he created first. That was the first version of Protect Your Neck that we never got. We never heard it because he's in there. So that's what. So he makes this song. The whole thing is about him making the song, and I'm watching him make the song, and I'm hearing them. And I keep waiting to hear like something I recognize, and I'm like, man, this is not Protect Your Neck that he's making. There's no way.
Right.
And he gets done, and the beat, it's not Protect Your Neck. And they're in the studio. Everybody's laying their verses down, and Riz is like, man, this just ain't right. It just ain't right. Something ain't right about it. He's like, I got to go back to the drawing board and do it from scratch. And he, comes up with the song that we know. But this is dope trivia because it's like this was the original version that no one heard. That's the type of shit I like to know. But she said Cuba Gooding Jr. And Omar Gooding's father was in the group.
There was Cuba Gooding Jr.'s dad was a singer.
Yeah. Or played an instrument.
I mean, you got me.
Food for thought. Is it called food for thought? Food for thought.
Food for thought. Is that it?
It's cool.
I'm sticking with the Commodores.
It's not the Commodores.
I'm sticking with the Commodores. That's what I got. That's what I'm with, bro.
You said indeed.
Commodore and William Bell. I'm sticking with William Bell and the Commodores.
The JBs, the grunt. Food for thought.
Oh, the JBs? Yeah, it could have been because we were sampling a lot of James Brown back then.
Okay, she told us that the main ingredient is the name of the group.
Main ingredient. Yeah, main ingredient is a group. Yeah,
that's the group. Yeah, that's the group. Main ingredient. So that was the group, and so Cuba Gooding, Senior was the.
I would have never. I can tell you what. I listened to Main Ingredients music. I would have never guessed that Cuba Gooding Jr.'s dad was part of the group.
Right. Yeah,
I would have never guessed that.
Why would you?
I mean, I might be on Jeopardy one day and need to answer this question. It might be the $1 million question.
Yeah,
Wheel of Fortune too.
Yeah, they ask you questions on there. Whose father, was part of a group.
What was this?
What was the name of the group that couldn't go? Yeah, they'd be like, what was the name of the group that couldn't? Cuba Gooding Jr.'s dad performed with.
Couldn't
you like, yo, main ingredient? I won $1 million. I won $1 million on Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Now.
Nah, Miss Cooley said aphrodisiac.
What's the name of the group?
Aphrodisiac. Might have. I don't know. She just said the name of the group. I don't know why she said it.
Renaissance. What up, Renaissance? Renaissance music in here.
Renaissance, what's up?
Peace. And yo, yeah, aphrodisiac is a oh, not that aphrodisiac, not aphrodisiac.
Oh, you looked it up?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, it's an album. That's the name of the album from Main Ingredient, released in 1973. It was called Aphrodisiac. It's a funk and soul album by the Main Ingredient, released in 1973 on RCA Records. The album features several songs co-written by Stevie Wonder. And these, yeah, and that was the album that he pulled out in that record store that F boy was trying to peep, kept
Mm-hmm.
trying to see what he was, what he had, because he wanted to steal it. Yeah. But
I
yeah, man,
mean, listen, that's a new one on me. I'm gonna put that in my memory banks just in
yeah.
case when I go in Jeopardy. I know that joint, man. So.
Listen, I'm telling you, Stu, this show, if you're a Wu fan, you gotta watch it. It's not like rehashing, your life. It's you don't
No,
look
no,
at.
I
Let
took
me
your
ask you this:
advice.
Do you have
I watched the
Hulu?
first. No, wait,
Okay,
wait. Come on, man. I got a Fire Stick.
that's what
I
I'm
don't need
saying. You got the
Hulu.
fire.
Actually, I don't even use a Fire Stick. I'm more advanced. I got Nvidia Shield now. That's how I get down.
See,
You know what I mean?
trying to
I'm
be
more
like
advanced now. I
trying to be
did go
like
spin
you.
it up. I took your advice. All right, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I
All
took
right,
your advice. I went back.
thank you.
When I was on vacation, I watched the first season. Watched the whole thing.
Wow,
It
really?
was. It is. Yeah, it is informative. I'm
It's
not gonna lie.
entertaining. It's
It is
entertaining.
entertaining. It is informative. It to me, it's like the Hollywood version
Yeah,
of it's like Hollywood telling their story to people that didn't live it like we did. Like that's how I
right,
Mm-hmm.
looked at it.
right.
So like,
Like what
and
they
like I
imagine.
said, right, right. So I could resonate like where I was when all that went down, and I could tell you,
Right.
because when I first the very first time I ever heard Wu-Tang, it was a record store where I'm from, Trenton. Um, I went and bought the single, and people was coming in there buying the joint like hotcakes. Like I
Yeah.
was in there when I bought the joint. I say at least 20, at least like in and out. People just kept coming in and out buying it. And so I forget, it was another album I was buying. I was buying, I think it was Main Sources album. I was buying their album on CD.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was the guy name was Scoob. He was an older guy, he's an older white guy. And he was like, oh man, he said, you gotta hear this new joint by these new kids called Wu-Tang. And I was
Mm.
like, word. So he was like, he go to single and he threw it on the counter. So I said, all right, well, give me that too. So I get in the car. Before I even pop the tape in the deck, people driving by playing it. So I'm like, damn. So I
Word.
bump it on my way home. By the time I got home, I had listened to it like 4 times. I just kept hitting, I just kept going back.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, and the B side was Method Man.
Right.
So I was like, man, this is dope. And
Bro,
then
that
the
shit
album dropped. Yeah,
game
the
changer.
album dropped like maybe 2 weeks later, and we got an
Yeah.
album from them like maybe 2, 3 weeks later. And I've
That's
been hooked
crazy.
ever since.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you beat me on that. You got me on that. 'Cause we didn't have that in Florida. In Florida, you did not get that before the album drop shit. That's only in New York, y'all. Yo,
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Cooley says she peace, y'all be safe. I guess she taking off. Yo,
All right,
thank you.
Miss Cooley, be safe.
Yeah, she said that his grandpa told him, or his uncle told him in the show. RZA was we was inside his head, and his uncle popped up, and he was there telling him that Stevie Wonder wrote that song from the Main Ingredient album, and that's true because that's what I just was reading to y'all, that Stevie Wonder wrote a lot of the music. So yeah, that's what his uncle said. That's right.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that. I would have never guessed that Stevie Wonder did all that. I would never guessed.
Nah,
I
Mm-hmm.
of
never
course.
guessed none of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nah.
Like
But
I didn't know the Bee Gees wrote a lot of music for a lot of people. Like I think one of Dionne Warwick's best albums, one of her best selling albums was written by the Bee Gees. She sang the
wow,
whole album. She did the whole album, but because they were saying I watched the what is it, Unsung. They were
mm,
saying that they were so talented, but when disco died,
right.
that's all everybody ever thought of them was being is
The
disco.
baby, yeah, you
So they
couldn't
couldn't sell, yeah. So they couldn't sell an
say
album.
word
So they just
disco.
right. So they just started writing for other people, writing albums and producing
Mhm.
them. They
That's
made
dope.
more money doing that than they did doing anything else.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's dope, man. Take that talent, man, and just keep it moving, man. You ain't gotta. died because the music died, from the era. But it was dope, man. They talked about the difference between writing at home versus writing in the studio. It's a lot of cool, tidbits like, creating an album and writing rhymes and all of that. It's a lot of hip hop, I guess you call it trivia or whatever, but they watch you see them, watching a kung fu flick, getting inspiration. Jizza goes and watches, a bunch of movies, and that's how he
Right.
writes. We really see Wu-Tang born. Like that's really what that episode was, in my opinion. It was like really the real birth of the real, you know what I'm saying? They finally were the Wu-Tang that we know.
Okay.
And
I
yeah,
know Redman said when they used to go in the studio, the only way they could tell if the beat was banging or not is they would go sit in the car. Somebody would have a car with a system in it, and they
right,
would play the beat in there. And
right.
he said because you couldn't really gauge it,
Off
like
the
how hard
studio
the
mind.
bass hit and right
Yeah,
off the studio
right.
stuff.
And you
So he
wanted to
said they
hear
would
how
go
Cat was gonna hear it.
right. He
Early.
said they would go sit in the car because he wrote a verse. It was a song
I'm,
he did with Wu Tang. He said I wrote the
it's
whole verse in the car.
it's on the. I know what you're talking about. We talked about that last time. I had to find that out. It's that song where he on the W. That album, the W.
Yeah, on the W, the album, the W
It's
album.
on the
Yeah, that
W.
joint. Yeah,
Uh,
because on the W also, Inspector Deck said that when they came out with Triumphant, Inspector Deck said when RZA was making the beat, they was somewhere. They was in New York. He said, and he said he heard RZA making it, but he said when he wrote his verse to Triumphant, it only had it was just the bass. It was just the doom 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 doom. It
right,
didn't have nothing else was on it.
right,
And he said he just kept like bobbing his head like to that to the rhythm. He said that's all RZA had down was the rhythm. That was it. And so he said he went in there was like, yo, what's that? And he was like, yo, this gonna be the joint for our next joint. So he said he wrote his verse just to the rhythm, just the doom 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 doom. And he said
right,
RZA kept putting different stuff in there. And I think he said he dropped his verse just to that and he left. But he said when he came, he said he had somewhere he had to go. He said he left early in the
yeah,
morning, like 5 in the morning. But he said when he came back a day or two later, he said RZA had finished the beat,
yeah,
and he said that's when he added the snares and the drums and the bass line and all that.
yeah.
Because
What
he
song
said
was
when I
this?
first that was Triumphant.
Damn.
Oh, Triumph. Okay, okay, got you.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
From
Because
see,
people say that's the best rap verse in the history of rap.
I mean that I bomb atomically, Socrates, Philosophies, the hypotheses. Like what? It was like
Yeah.
what? You what? Come on, man.
So think when he wrote his verse to that song, he didn't even have a full beat.
Yeah.
Inspector Deck
I
wrote
mean,
that
you don't
just to the
really need the beat to write. Yeah, I mean, we used to write to a metronome. We would turn that
he
shit
just
on.
had the rhythm.
That's
Right.
how we would sharpen our sword. We would write just to a metronome. Like wake up early and
Okay.
just write to a metronome. And you could, you can put it to anything at that point. But
It's ain't it crazy how like when it comes to like I can remember a point in time where the whole world was like Jizza is the best writer.
Yeah,
right,
when
Then it
people
went to
yeah.
then it went to a point to where it was go the way
It
the
was Ghost,
fans
it
fa-
was Ghost and
ghost.
Ray. Yeah, it was Ghost and
Yeah.
Ray or Ghost
yeah,
And
Or just
then
Ray.
these
Yeah.
last I could say 5 years, every time you ask
It's
Method
been
Man, he
expected.
said
It's
his
been
that
expected
deck,
that.
deck, 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 deck. So it's
Everybody
like
say that. But
because
so
you
it's
know
like
what?
used
You
to
know what's
say that.
crazy?
That's
I
what the
always
Wu
like
always thought.
that's what the woo. But I'm gonna tell you something. I watched the interview where Ghost was saying that
Cap,
Cap bodied the whole
cap,
woo.
cap
see
But when you ask the woo members, to them, the best rappers out of all of them is Cat
is
and
deck
Inspector
and
Deck.
cap.
It's Deck
Yeah,
and Cat. Because
yeah.
they say that, that
Well,
Cap
because
and Deck
Cap, they
was
said Cap was the most like Cap was like street, like he was their whole flavor. Like Cap was really embodied
Cap
their
was the
whole
one.
essence of
Yeah, their whole
the whole
yeah.
style.
Meth
All of
always
it.
say that. Yup. Meth
Yeah,
always say that. Because Meth said that they I mean not Meth, Ghost said that they used to do a talent show up there in Park Hill. Every
mhm.
year he said, Cap got this song that I don't know where they say he only do it live and it's
Right.
like a Park Hill anthem. And they said
Right.
he would do that joint and win the talent show every year. Like he would come and rock that joint. They said he would rock it. But you guys said the same thing. As you guys said when they did Woo Wear. He said they was bumping their heads against the wall. They couldn't figure out how to get it. And he said, you guys was like, it was me that made him. He said, I was like, go get Cat and bring Cat back. And he said Cat was working a security job gig in the projects. And they went
Yeah.
and got him.
Yeah.
And Cat went on his lunch break and went, and then they went and did the Wu joint.
That's one of my
Yeah.
And so
favorite songs.
yeah, because he
I
said
love
they couldn't
Wu-Tang.
figure out how to make it work. Because RZA was like, because RZA says that when they do beats, he tried to figure out who go best on what beat. And
Yeah.
when they had the Wu beat, they couldn't figure out. He was like, they was bumping it. And you guys said, I was like, man, go get Cat. Just bring Cat back here and let Cat rock that joint. And Cap and Meth rocked it. And he said that was one. Even with 96 Wu, same thing. That's
Yeah.
that's like an anthem right there. If you are a
Yeah.
hardcore Wu-Tang fan, that 96, that 96 Wu, that joint, he rocked it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he rocked that joint, man. You can't take nothing away from him on that.
So, okay.
Hell no. We'll wear the garment district, garment renaissance.
Yeah. When I first heard that, I thought that was hot. I still do.
Man,
But
what?
that was
I still
yeah.
want me a Wu jacket.
You know they got a website,
Yeah.
Cooks. You can go in there and get. They got a Wu-Wear website now. You can go in there and buy
word?
jackets. Yeah,
Yeah.
just type in Wu-Wear, WuWear.com. Come right up.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember, man, I used to have so much Wu wear and Johnny Blaze and all of that shit.
That Wu jacket Red Man had on it in that I Be That video. That's the one I like. I always
Yeah,
like
that joint was
shit.
hot.
Bro,
Yeah,
I had
I
the
wonder where
card.
they get that. Like, I wonder where they get that stuff from, man. Because I would buy it if I could find it. I would buy that hands down.
What?
Knowing
Wu-Wear?
them, they probably get their stuff on the set.
A lot of Wu-Wear stuff you see them wear, like you go look for it, you can't find it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's the same. I be seeing that too. Like Sean, like Puffy will be having some Sean John that you could never find, or you know what I mean? What's his name? Russell Simmons will have on some Fat Farm that you never saw nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It's like the designer shit. Like, where do they get that? Or that's the shit they sell at the real upscale, like
Big
on
Dog
Rodeo
Stove.
Drive type
Yeah,
shit.
right. At those joints, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm like, yeah, I'll be like, man, where do you get these joints? I
that
would
shit
pay
ain't
for
at
that.
the mall. Right.
Nah, it ain't.
It ain't at the mall.
It ain't on Amazon either. Yeah, you can't get. Yeah, I don't know where they getting it from, but wherever they get
Yeah,
it from, I want it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
right. That's why,
Mm-hmm.
but I make a lot of my own Wu shit. Like this jacket, this leather jacket, I made that out of one of these t-shirts.
It's dope, and the jacket is dope.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you bought it from somewhere. Yeah, I
No,
thought you bought it from. I didn't know you. I didn't know you made that
no,
joint. It's hot.
it reminded me of like how a biker has their colors, like the leather. They had the leather vest, and the way that the
Mhm.
biker has the top rocker and the bottom rocker and the symbol in the middle. This t-shirt reminded me of that, and I'm like, yo,
Okay.
this would be ill on a leather jacket.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. That's extra dope, man. Extra dope.
But you know, and the cat that's playing RZA. So in the first season, he's not that bad, but in this season, man, he is so bad, dog. It takes me out of it a little bit. It takes me out of the scene a little bit because he's so. I don't know what he's doing, dog. RZA don't talk like that.
He's stiff. He too stiff to me. Too robotic.
I think he's trying too hard to be RZA.
Trying too hard to do a thing.
RZA's, RZA talk kind of fast. When you hear him talk, he talk kind of fast.
Have no energy because RZA was mad, like, yo, in your face and shit. Like, especially when you look at those old footage of them in the studio and shit. When you see like the documentaries of the old footage, RZA was mad, like outgoing, and you know, and this cat is mad reserved, like dark and brooding type shit, and that's not. I wish they would have got somebody, or I wish the cat would play it more, you know, more outgoing.
Or maybe another thing, maybe he's embodying like one piece of the RZA and not the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
Not the whole thing. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like the voice thing, I know we ain't gonna never be able to get over that voice thing because the way the RZA talk, he kind of got like a little like a little ride, like when he do his know what I mean, they say know what I mean after everything, but it's
Yeah,
got a
yeah,
little ride, it's got a little ride to it. This dude right here
yeah,
is just like when he talk, it's like boom, 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 boom. Ain't no ride with it. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Y'all know
right.
what I
Yeah.
mean.
Mad monotone. Yeah, he's monotone.
Yeah. Because Riz got like
Bass.
it's just a certain way, and the way he pronounces words too. Riz, he got like a
Yeah.
deep New York accent. He got that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got a real
Yeah,
profound New York accent, man, when he talk.
yeah. And you know, RZA, he kind of talks like he's from Baltimore a little bit too. He's got a weird. RZA has a weird, like he say, talks strange like Bjork. He got a weird.
Yeah,
He's got a weird accent that he does. But
yeah.
yeah, this
Because
cat's
all of them talk different. To be from the same
got
spot,
very unique voices
yeah,
and
they all
yeah,
got
to be from the
like
same spot, it's
yeah,
crazy.
like
Like,
Ray and Ghost got like a different slang than everybody. So like
yeah.
you
Well,
know
they're
what I mean?
not
Like
from
stuff
the
they
same
say.
spot, actually. A lot of
Who
them
Ray
are
and
from
Ghost?
Brooklyn. A lot of the Wu
Yeah,
is from Brooklyn
yeah. A lot of them from
and
Brooklyn. Yeah,
shit. So, you know,
they moved to Stat.
they go to Stat. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Shit, Memphis from Long Island, I think. Yeah, or yeah, I think he's from Long Island, and he,
yeah.
moved to Stat when he was young. But you know, it's the fact that they all are so different. Like they remind me of like the X-Men or something. Everyone's a completely different character with a different power set, you know what I mean? And a different style altogether. You would think they're not from the same group. It's crazy.
That's
No,
And that's
also
man.
dope. That's another dope thing that they showing in the series. All the different,
yes.
how they so different.
They are
Yes.
different. They are drastically. Because even other rappers say like Onyx. I was listening to an interview with Onyx one time, and they was like, they said when they first heard him, they was like, it blew our mind because they was like, we never seen. They said it's like 9 of these jokers, and
Mhm.
it's like it's just one. Like like Method Man said, they formed Voltron, and
Yeah.
that's what Sticky in them was. They was like, yo, it's like 9 of them, but when you see them perform or you hear them on a song, it's like it's just one. It's one
It
person
worked.
doing all these different flows, and it worked. It just
Different
all fit
styles. Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sticky Figure said he wanted. He said I wanted to battle all of them. He's like I wanted to
Yeah.
battle all 9 of them. So, but he said they was just he said they was dope. Like he said even people that was established in the game, like Onyx was big when Onyx came out.
Yeah.
I never saw anybody go
Who
straight to
lit that
stardom
shit? It was
like
Onyx.
Onyx did. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Onyx went from the rap game to the acting game to the movie game like
Quick.
overnight, bro. Like
Quick.
quick.
hmm
It take like mostly it take rappers years before you
Yeah.
see him in the movie. You know, you see him
Yeah.
all over, then you see him in the movie, or it had to be a hip hop produced movie. Onyx was they was on Moesha, they
I
was
was like, man, this
everywhere,
kid
bruh.
was an actor
Everywhere.
first, then a rapper.
Yeah, they was Onyx was getting it, bruh. And
Yeah.
they was well established. So you figure if they sitting there saying that the Wu was like something like they was admiring it, they was
Everybody
already
was. Yeah.
established, right? Yeah, and people that was already established, like yo, who is these jokers? Like all
Mhm.
Yeah.
9 of them. Yeah,
But
so
like what Ice T said, he was like, man, it's 9 of them motherfuckers, and every last one of them motherfuckers can rap.
yeah, all
You
of them
know,
can rap.
you
You
have a
right?
lot. He was saying like you have a lot of groups that one of them is like the one that can really rhyme, or there's always one or two that they're not really that dope kind of thing. But he's like every last one of them motherfuckers
Yeah,
is
all of them correct. Now, speaking of all of them correct, when it comes to the locks, I know I ain't getting off subject, but I gotta ask this question because people throw it out there a lot. When it comes to the locks, Sheik Luch, what's your verdict on? Because everybody
he's
dog
not
Sheik.
my favorite of the
Yeah,
three.
everybody dog Sheik, man. But I
Yeah,
think
he's
Sheik is
not my
dope,
favorite.
man. I think
No,
Sheik
he
is
is
dope.
though. He is. Nah, Sheik is nice, bro. Don't get me wrong. Look, that's like saying, who's the weakest of the gods. You know what I mean? Like they're still gods. It's still, the locks. They still all phenomenal. But if you take all three, one of them's got to be the best, and one of them's got to be the worst. And in my opinion, it's Jada, Styles, Sheik, in that order.
See everybody say that. Everybody say that. Everybody put Sheik
That's
last.
that's only recently. Like for me, it was always Styles, Jada, Chic. Styles was always my favorite. Like his albums and shit. Like I really dig his style, his voice, everything. He was my
Oh,
favorite for a
Jada.
long time. Nah,
If
Styles
you
P.
wanna,
Styles
oh,
P.
Styles is hot. Styles is
Styles
hot.
P was always my
I give
favorite.
Styles credit, man. But
But
I don't put Sheik. I kind of put
to
them all
really
neck and
listen
neck.
to it and the shit Jada's been doing, like, and the shit Jada has done since those earlier days, man, you gotta. This cat is next
Yeah,
level,
if
bro.
you want a hot 16, that's who you go see. You go see
Jada is
Jada.
next level.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
go
he's one
see
of the illest.
Jada got the hottest 16 out there right now.
He's
He
one
had
of
it
the
back
hmm
then. He got it now. Like straight up and down. I
My
can't think
my
of one. I can't think of one rapper right now. Whoever you want to bring up that could give you a hotter 16 than Jadakiss.
Yeah, you're right. My thing with the locks, oh, like when you said, like how you asked it, from listening, like just from listening to, like all the interviews and like when they get interviewed, the blah say, would it be all three of them or two or one of them?
Mhm.
It's like kind of like that's kind of how they got it arranged. Like shit, you know what I'm saying? Like they, like when it
Yeah.
comes to Styles and Jada, they like to they don't mind being up under the camera or whatever, whatever. She more is more of the background dude, you know what I'm saying? But if you call him, he
Right.
coming, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but like y'all was saying, like Stu was saying, and like either way it go, he's still hot now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if he wanted to be harder, he would. I feel like.
Sheik, I feel like Sheik was like more street. Like Ghost said, I'm in the crack spot banging that Sheik Looch. That was the gutter. That was the trap music. Like Sheik was the really
She was
street
the
rap.
hard. Yeah, she hard, man. Yeah. If you listen
hmm
to his mixtapes, she can go hard, man. He just don't get the credit like the other two, man. I think because
Man,
he's just too hard.
I don't know. Like he do silly. Like he was like, I'm the Black Dan DeVito, and I'm like, why you want to be the Black Danny DeVito? Like, did he mean Robert De Niro? Did he fuck that
Nah,
verse
he
up?
made Danny. Nah, he made Danny
You want
DeVito
to be the
because Danny
Black Danny
DeVito is
DeVito?
Because
You
Danny
know what?
DeVito versatile, man. Danny DeVito versatile, man. You know what I'm
Yo, I swear he fucked up. And
saying?
he meant to be saying
Oh
somebody
no,
else.
man.
Yeah,
I think he knew what he was doing. I think he knew Danny DeVito. Come on, man. We gotta get Danny DeVito his props, man.
you got
Danny
to. That's a
DeVito is
great. That's a
ill,
great
bro.
actor.
Danny DeVito
Great
is
actor.
a man. Not
Great
just his
actor.
acting role. Like he's a businessman. Like he's a producer and shit. Danny DeVito. I take nothing
Right.
from Danny DeVito, but I just looks wise, just imagining a black Danny DeVito, man, it's just funny to me. It's just funny. It's just funny.
Oh,
Uh,
yo, I ain't got
Sheik is
nothing for
funny,
you.
man. Nah, Sheik is funny, dog. I rock with Sheik. Sheik's cool. He's just out of like I said, man. Out of the three, he's my least.
I like Sheik, man. I can't. I done heard Sheik spit some stuff, man. Just
Yeah,
had me like, damn, like yo, this Joker just said that. Like, man.
absolutely.
So
Can't take nothing from him. He's still one of the locks, man. Like, come on.
yeah, he one of the illest
hmm
out there, bro.
Illest
I can't
ever.
take nothing from you.
Nah, bro. So
Um,
that was the woo. Go ahead, Cooks.
I was just gonna say. I was gonna ask you about but you getting ready to segment into it.
Oh, okay. What were you gonna say?
About the what if was coming, but I figured you was gonna sport segment
Okay.
into it.
Nah, well, yeah, I was gonna go to yeah, I guess I was. Okay, so what if? So that was Woo. We've been watching What If, right? Stu, you been watching What
Right.
If?
Every
Did
episode,
you
bro.
see the last okay, so this last one, man.
Yeah, with Thor.
No,
Mm-mm.
that's that's the first to the last one. The last
Another
one
one. It's the next one.
is the illest show,
The
dopest
Ultron, the
episode.
Ultron joint.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
Yo,
was the
Vision
best one. Yeah.
Vision is Ultron. Yo,
Dog.
that's
And
that's
this one it really stayed true to the it really was accurate, like comic accurate. This one a little more, I feel like, than because like all of these have been really based on MCU stuff, not comic stuff. But this was really close to like the Ultron story in the comics. Um, Ultron, I mean, devastated, man. Like they you see Captain America looking, crushed and defeated, and they find Peter Parker, and then they go find Wolverine, messes up the timeline, and it's crazy. But this episode was mad close. Um,
Okay.
but the ending was mad
I,
confusing as to the future of the MCU.
well,
I got a question right quick
okay. Oh, go
for
ahead. Go
Stu.
ahead.
For Stu,
No,
I
go ahead.
want to
What's
make
up?
sure because I don't want to be, I don't want to confuse myself. If didn't Ultron find Vision in the box when he was being created? Didn't Ultron find him, or was
Yes.
it the?
In the
But
MCU,
so,
yeah. Yeah.
okay. I
Yeah.
wanted to because I'm trying to. I want to make sure that because I know that after that Thor episode when he showed up and the thing opened up, I was thinking like, yeah, okay, damn, Vision is inside Ultron, but really Ultron put himself around Vision. Is that right? Or correct me if I'm wrong now.
Did he
Nah,
take
it
Vision
was
into
well
his
the armor the it was like the vision that we saw, I mean Ultron that we saw in the movie, that was like an armor. That was like an armor that the Vision had on. So it was the Vision under that Ultron armor,
mm,
like that. And then
Okay, okay,
he had all the stones, all the stones and everything. So
huh,
okay.
yeah, so it was like an
okay.
armor for him. Now,
All right.
can anybody tell me what the pivotal moment was in all of those? Like as you break down the what ifs, can anybody tell me the pivotal moments that changed the course of the history?
Of the MCU?
Mm-hmm.
Right,
I
yeah.
could, I could, I could
All right,
name a
like
couple, one, two.
like in the one with Thor, it was the fact that Odin took Loki back to the ice giants instead of raising him as his own son.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
That changed Thor. That made Thor, he was different because of that.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was the weak episode to me. It was. I felt
Yeah,
like
me too. Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like
me too.
filler.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
like a
like
filler.
filler.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
you,
Because
did you,
the one that confused me was the one where
Doctor Strange.
they killed. No, not the Doctor Strange. Check it. The
Oh,
one where they
when
were
they killed
doing.
all the Avengers.
Yeah, because Hank Pym, when you listen to Hank Pym when
Oh
he's
yeah,
talking to Loki, he says, "You killed my daughter."
yeah, yeah.
And remember, in the MCU, it was the wife that got lost
Mm,
in the quantum universe.
yeah, and she comes back though, right? Or no, he lost her. They went
He
and
lost her. They went on a
they were
mission and
doing a
he lost her.
mission.
And
Yeah,
remember, he told Nick Fury, "You sent us on that mission, and I lost my daughter." He didn't say the
yeah,
wife. He said the daughter.
yeah. He did. He did.
Yeah. So
That might
that
have
was the
been a what if.
pivotal. That was the what if moment that changed
Mhm.
the course of the MCU because the daughter got lost instead of the wife. So it
Right.
drove him to be the way he was and kill all
Yeah,
the Avengers.
he went
Yeah.
crazy, killed everybody. Yeah.
you see, hey, y'all see Lito in the comments?
Hold on. I gotta see. I can't see him at the same time. But okay, he said Ultron made him. Ultron made the body that became Vision. Well, what the Watcher said was that the Avengers never stole the body from Ultron, like in Avengers 2.
Right. Right. That was the what it. That was the pivotal moment that changed everything. That
Angelo
they didn't
Barano
steal.
said, "Will there be a part 2 to the Ultron Vision episode?"
Yeah, they gonna from what I saw, the next episode, which is the finale, they gonna
Mm,
show everything that's gonna happen, like what's happening in all those episodes, like where they left us at, and
right.
then
Okay.
the Watcher, and the Evil Strange is gonna go and take people out of each one and bring them to there to form the new Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, from each timeline, from a different timeline.
And form the
Yes.
new
Okay.
Avengers. Yeah, and the
Because
evil
oh well,
Doctor Strange.
that kind of makes sense. Because if you read the Scott, I mean not Scott Snyder, the Tom Taylor Dark Ages. I mean, four main
Uh-huh.
Avengers die in that comic. So you got
Hmm.
Vision dies, Doctor Strange dies, Scarlet Witch dies, and the Thing. They kill and that's in the 616. The 616 is the main universe. So
Still,
this isn't. So when you reading Dark Ages, yeah, Dark Ages. When you're reading that, that's not. Yeah, that isn't like an alternate join. That's the 616.
that's the 616.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's 616.
Boom, the Scotty.
Coming to
Yeah, I
life.
like
That's
that's
the
dope right
Scotty
there.
right there.
That's dope right there.
That's the Scotty
Yes.
right there. So yeah, these are all the covers, y'all. And y'all can get these, man, on my on Instagram tomorrow. I will be selling comics, doing a big claim show on Instagram tomorrow, providing Instagram is working again, and because it's been down all day. That's been crazy.
uh, I've been down. I ain't been on there at all, man. So I gotta go. I tried to get on, but I couldn't. I
I
thought it
like
was
the
maybe
A.
because I was trying to do it from the app. I usually do it from my computer, so I thought maybe that
Nah,
was the problem.
it's down. It's down. It was down all day. Facebook is down. Something's wrong with it. But I like the A cover, man. That's the A cover right there. The first, the original cover is dope. It's all dark. Love the Scotty
Now,
jump.
now, Reno, could you tell us why they call it Dark Ages?
Nah, I haven't really.
You ever read it?
I have. I've. I don't think I finished it. Let me see where I got to. Yeah, but well, it. I assume because it's a post, or it's it's like a dystopian, a dystopian future that is being created.
Well, they go battle. Okay, in the beginning they had Moon Girl. That's another part. This is a comic show, so we got to
This
discuss this.
guy, yeah, we're getting
That's
into this
that's the
guy,
Unmaker. That's the Unmaker right there. The
right,
Unmaker
right.
is a being that was created before everything, and
Mm-hmm.
he was actually made to devour black holes in space,
Right.
but he consumed so much dark energy that
And
it
the
just
living
it
tribunal
darkened
had
his
to,
soul. Right, it darkened his
right.
soul.
Yeah.
So
And then
Doctor Strange took the Earth. He took the whole Earth to a dimension that emits EMPs. It worked and it stopped the Unmaker, but it also put the Earth in the Dark Ages.
where are you getting
So
that?
that's in the comic if you read it.
Nah,
That's why it's called Dark
well,
Ages. That's why it's
this is
called
how
Dark
far I
Ages.
got. So the Unmaker was tainted and wild and began to unmake everything.
Right.
Because he went nuts.
He went nuts.
It was made to protect it was made to protect the universe to stop entropy in its tracks to consume black holes. The Unmaker was tainted and wild, and it began to unmake everything. The living machine unmade worlds and entire galaxies. The machine contained too much power to destroy, so the Unmaker was put to sleep. But over millennia, feeding on so much darkness changed that being, corrupted it at its core, until
Right.
finally the intergalactic menace was challenged and beaten by the living tribunal, and the living tribunal just evaporates him.
Right.
And then they said and so the living tribunal imprisoned him in the center of the earth,
In
in
the
the
center of the Earth. Right.
core.
Now
And the
when he
living
wakes up
tribunal takes off, right? But then he wakes up,
and Dinosaur Girl and Spider-Man
Moon
were
Girl
like the
and
first.
Dinosaur.
Yeah, Moon Girl and
Yeah.
Dinosaur. They were like the first people to kind of. But my
Mhm.
gripe, I ain't gonna
Figured
say my
out-
gripe with it, but
She
I
figured out
do
something. The
because
Spidey senses went off. The Spider people,
right, it went off like bad, like it went
made
off
him
like
sick.
to
Like,
where it
yeah,
hurt him, like it hurt him when he went
yeah.
off. But like, let's go back to Moon Girl. Now, in the comic, it clearly states that Moon Girl is the smartest person in the
In the Marvel
MCU,
universe,
in the Marvel
not the
universe.
MCU universe. Yeah, not the
And
MCU.
in the MU, she's the smartest
In the
person in the
MU.
MU.
That's what it says, man.
And
And I was like,
the
well,
smartest person
that's
in
a
the
new. I mean, that's a
now
thing.
Dinosaur. Now
That's a new.
she only been out 6 years
Yeah,
since her first appearance. And
right.
my question is, how is she the smartest person
Well,
in the
she's 6
MU?
years old.
Okay, but wait a minute, man, hold on. How is she the smartest person when they never told us why she's the smartest person? Because for years it was Reed Richards was the smartest man in the MU.
Yeah,
So now
but
you got to
but
say she's
did you
smarter
read
than.
Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur? Have you read that?
Yeah, I read it. They don't tell you. They don't tell you why. They never give you a reason why she's the smartest person in the MU.
Okay, but do
They
they?
never even give you a story leading up to why that she got that title. Like Wolverine could say, "I'm the best at what I do, and what I do ain't nice because what he do ain't nice, and we know why he the best at what he do. We
Right.
already know why. You know what I mean? And we know why Doctor Doom is the ruler. This is the ruler of Latveria. We know why,
Yeah.
and we
It
know
says
why
the
Reed
world's
Richards,
smartest person on her way to the Baxter building to talk to the world's second smartest
the
person,
second smartest
Reed
person, right?
Richards.
With Reed
Right.
Richards, right? So now you
That's
say,
what I'm
okay,
saying.
Tony
It's like a
Stark.
retcon. It's like they just made her. She's the smartest because they wrote it in. And they said
Right,
that.
right. But they never tell us why she the smartest person.
Huh.
They never tell us
But
why she
yeah,
the number one smartest. They never give us an. We don't even have a story explaining why
no,
she's the
because
smartest person in the
the
MU.
answer why is because they said so. That's why.
Wow.
There-
I guess that's what we got to go with then.
There's
All right.
no,
So
yeah, there's no, they're not breaking it down. They're just like, you know what, this is just some because we said so shit. Like you just got to take it on our faith. We just telling you she's the smartest, and just trust us.
Mhm.
I guess I got to trust them then.
I mean,
You talking about Tony Stark, Reed Richards,
actually,
Doctor
Valeria
Doom.
Richards was the smartest. Valeria
You
was
got
smarter than
Valeria
Reed.
Richards, right?
So
Right,
how is
Reed.
where is she
Thank
falling
you,
in?
thank you. Now you see now you see
No,
where I'm
I
going with
feel
this.
you, but I'm saying they're
Yeah,
on some just because we said so shit.
right.
Mhm.
But you're right, it is crazy. It don't make no sense. It
Yeah,
don't
it
make
don't make sense because we don't even have a
don't add up.
story explaining. Like we don't even have a story explaining why. You could validate that. You could validate the fact that she is
And it's like Valeria
the first
Richards, you
smart
know, they
friend.
the Richards kids, man, they just Marvel just made them the best kids on in the MU because Valeria was the smartest and Franklin is the most powerful being in the
Right,
universe. He could just
right,
warp reality to his whatever he can imagine.
right.
He can
So imagine, right? He can create, right?
They say that
Sort of
there's a
like,
theory that the reason all the characters like Peter Parker's still a young man, like because Franklin Richards is making all the characters stay the way he remembers them.
oh, he remembers him. That
Right.
makes
So
sense.
the way he wants
That
them, that's
makes
how
sense. That makes
yeah,
sense.
so that's their
Because
answer. That's
even
Marvel's sort of
yeah, because
unofficial
that make
answer to
oh,
why
that's the unofficial. Yeah, that makes sense.
all the characters stay young and all of that.
Okay,
But yeah,
I can go
like
with that.
why is
Oh,
he that? Go ahead,
hmm.
bro.
No, I'm listening. I was finna say something, but I was listening to what y'all was saying. You went through
Yeah,
what you were saying.
no, I was through.
Yeah,
I'm
because that's like the
You
Green
sure?
Lanterns. Like
I'm
that's like
through.
Green Lantern. Yeah, that's like Green Lantern. Like when I was telling you, like people think Superman. We need Spadenomics here for this because
No,
I got one for him.
let Cook say what he
Oh,
was
go
gonna
ahead,
say.
Cooks. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was actually listening because I mean, what I was gonna say it need to be said after what he's saying because he talking about Green Lantern. I'm gonna stick to
Oh,
you know what I'm saying. So yeah, go ahead, Stu. I'm listening.
Like they are like Superman. Like everybody knows they say Superman is OP, 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 OP. But
right.
when you break it down, let's just break down the Green Lantern course for a minute. A Green Lantern, a focused Green Lantern, like in the DC universe, Green Lanterns are very dangerous. They're dangerous people because of the rings,
Mhm.
and the ring can make the constructs. The construct, like you can whatever you can
They
imagine, the
can
ring can
imagine.
create.
Yeah.
Right, the ring can create. Now the ring can even create kryptonite. If it scans a piece of kryptonite, it can put together all the elements in there and create a construct of kryptonite, which Green Lantern, which John Stewart did in a comic few comics back, like maybe a few years ago, and
So
they
the
were talking
kryptonite
about it.
can actually be the real thing.
It can be the real thing. Now
Mhm.
this is where now I was
Never
watching
seen
the
that. It was
Justice
always
League.
a clear green sort of.
Yeah, whatever it is just gonna be green. Yeah, whatever it is gonna be green. But the construct is real, and it takes the form of whatever it is, and it performs just like the real thing.
Like the real thing, right? Right.
So like I'm watching the joint and Superman is punching a bubble Green Lantern's making. But if green, the more focused they are, the more you can't get through that construct. So
Mm.
like
So it don't
they
have
got
nothing to do with
Superman
strength.
punching.
It ain't. Yeah,
Right. It
power,
has
strength,
nothing to do with it has nothing to do with their focus, their mind.
their
So
will,
like
right? Their will,
right,
right?
a focused Green Lantern is probably the most dangerous and powerful being besides Darkseid in the DC universe.
Mm.
A focused Green Lantern. So if you
Now
took
what?
Starro
Go ahead.
and put a Starro on the face of a Green Lantern, he would be so focused, he would be almost unstoppable.
But didn't Starro get on the Green Lantern?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was an occasion where he got on the Green Lantern because there's nothing to distract him from
Right.
from there's nothing to distract their will. Like if they have no
Right.
distractions, if they were just like just straight focused and there was nothing, no distractions, a focused Green Lantern is literally one of the most strongest people in the DC universe. But they don't portray it like because when you watch the Ryan Reynolds movies, it kind of
Well,
it
that's
was
what I'm saying. Like when you watch that movie, it's like he's making like sort of copies of the real thing. He's not really creating the real thing. He's just making like a copy or like a I don't know what you call it, a force field version of like a fist or whatever it is he creates, you know.
Right.
It's not
Because like
really
I'm right, it ain't like a construct.
he was I guess he was new, but they called it a construct and
Yeah, but
Sinestro was teaching
yeah.
him all that shit
Now,
and
I got a random
yeah.
question for you, Stu.
Mhm.
Uh, I have the hardback book of the Blackest Night, right? And
Right.
when it comes to DC, you know what I'm saying, Wonder Woman and Green Lantern, them like the two last ones that I learned about. Like, you know what I'm saying, that I learned about because the other ones, it's just the nostalgia of them that, you know what I mean, like, you know, kid excited, you know what I mean, blah, blah, blah. But
Right.
reading that Blackest Night book, knowing that was like one of my first times really deep diving into Green Lantern, one of the things that I was mostly uh tipped off about was all the other lanterns. So the question I want to ask you is, what's your thoughts on the other lanterns? Because they caused a big problem. You know, the ones that caused the problem, and the ones that was alliances, and you know how that story goes. So like, what's your thoughts on like just the
Yeah,
other lanterns? You know what I'm saying?
I mean
yeah,
like the
that's a good
orange lanterns and the white lanterns and different
You know what I
colors.
mean?
I thought that you know what, Cooks, that's a good question. I thought that they just didn't need to exist. I thought that they
Really?
were
What
yeah,
do they
because
do?
they do the
Just
same
another
thing as the other lanterns, but they all
okay.
have different weaknesses. Like, all right,
So they're
like
using a different part of their mind to create the
A
construct.
different
Like
emotion. I thought they
no,
ran off
no,
emotion.
no,
a
not
different
each one. All
emotion.
right, look,
A different
each
emotion.
green.
Like
Okay,
because
each
one of them are
lantern.
evil, you know what I'm
No,
saying?
no, no.
One of
Look,
them
it's
is
like
negative.
this. The rings feed off of in order for you to even use the ring. It's like it's emotional, but it's also confrontational. So like the Green Lanterns is willpower.
Yeah.
So the stronger your willpower, the stronger your constructs. The more focused you are with your willpower, is strong. Sinestro is all about fear. The Yellow Lanterns is just all about fear. So
Uh-huh.
the more fear that they can create in their mind and people around them, the stronger they are. And then you got like the Black Lanterns. They're just death.
Yeah.
That's all. You got to be dead in order to be a Black Lantern. Red Lanterns work off of rage. So the
You gotta
Rage.
be
madder
dead.
they get, the more rage they get, the more matter they get, the stronger their
Mm,
constructs are, the stronger they
right,
are. Period.
right.
But how DC wrote it is like all of them can do all these things, but none of them still trump a Green Lantern
Right,
because willpower is over everything.
right.
So and then you can actually change lanterns too. So let's say if you were a yellow lantern and your willpower was so strong that one day you just realized, like, look, like, why am I doing this? And you use your ring for good. You
Because
could become a
Sinestro
Green
started
Lantern.
as a green, didn't he?
Yeah, he started as a green, and then he
Mhm.
embraced the yellow. He embraced the
Oh,
yellow. He embraced fear. He embraced the
the
fear.
is it purple or is it white? Because he went to go get help in that store. Was it the purple lanterns or was it the white lantern? Because I remember a female had it, and her what I forgot I can't remember what the emotion was for it.
I forget.
If
I
you could,
think the purple one is like. I think purple is like love or something like this. Something
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
I can't
yeah.
remember them all. I can't remember them all. It's so many. I think it's like 8 or 9 of them now.
What's the white
And
Um,
one?
the white one, I forget, bro. I gotta look it
that's
up.
what I forgot. And
There's so many of them. Yeah,
the orange one
the orange
weird.
one.
Like,
Orange one is that's Lafitte. I think his name was Lafitte or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
his
don't.
is yeah. They crazy
No,
like those. The orange lanterns are just they shot out. They just crazy, bro. Yeah, like
Hmm.
they just. But they have strong constructs. Now each one cancels out another. Like the only like the only one that can cancel out green is yellow. So
hmm
green is over everything except for yellow, and yellow
hmm
cancels like yellow and green cancel each other out. So I think it's like orange and white cancel each other out. Like each one cancels each other, but green can't be canceled out by any of the other ones
Right.
except for yellow. Yellow is the only thing that can cancel. Now
Oh,
yellow can cancel out anything other than green, and then but I think green and yellow are like the two most powerful ones that can't cancel out other ones or cancel out. But I know green and yellow cancel each other out. Period.
Right.
Like
okay.
it can't affect nothing green, and green can't affect
Well,
nothing yellow.
so we was talking about that because there is a HBO show coming out.
Yes, sir. HBO Max.
Crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah, on HBO Max. I can't wait. They're coming out with a Green Lantern show. Trying to
What
find it.
I'm hoping, Reno, that what they do with this show, because you have so many different Green Lanterns. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that each episode is a different Green Lantern, and we get to see them go on an adventure or their perspective or whatever. Because right now, the most unique Green Lantern ring is the female JoJo. Her ring doesn't need a battery to recharge. Hers recharges on its own. So like when her ring power gets down to zero, she
Mm-hmm.
can't use it for 24 hours, and it takes 24 hours to recharge on its own. So she doesn't need a lantern. She doesn't need to say brightest day, darkest night, none of that. That's the only downside of her ring. Now, her ring is stronger than the other lanterns' rings, but she doesn't have to recharge it. She doesn't need a lantern to recharge it. And right now, if you're reading the Green Lantern comics right now, they're on number 7. Um, the Green Lanterns, the battery's dead, so no Green Lanterns have any power right now. Their rings don't work, and her ring is the only one that's working,
That's in the
and
comic
that's
right
in the
now.
comic because
Mhm.
she doesn't need a lantern to charge it. She just has to let it sit and it charges up on its own. And that's
Uh-huh.
only because she's in a sector that's so far out that she can't get to, the ring power battery. So the Guardians made her a special ring that recharges on its own.
Well, these guys, this HBO Max show, which Kilowog is in,
Yes.
your boy,
So get your
and
first appearance in Kilowog. You better get your
yeah,
first appearance in
you've been telling us
Kilowog.
to get that
Yeah,
first
yeah,
job
Reno.
Kilowog
Yeah.
for a
And
long
listen, I
time.
did it because you said I did it because you was like, yo, you don't get it before the TV show. It's a wrap.
Yeah, and so now, yeah, so everybody that didn't listen to Stu Dog, you should have listened. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called the Main Emerald Knights.
Yes. Yes,
And
indeed.
so for over half a decade, we've been waiting for Green Lantern Corps to arrive in the DC Extended Universe. And while that movie remains in limbo, this DC Comics property is getting a different shot at live action glory. Last year it was announced that HBO Max is developing a Green Lantern TV series, and earlier this month, the show scored a 10-episode straight to series order with Seth Graham Smith, who was once supposed to direct the Flash movie, serving as showrunner and co-writing with Mark Guggenheim. And with Green Lantern officially moving forward, HBO Max also revealed that the show's main lineup of characters will include Human Lanterns, Alan Scott, Guy Gardner, Simon Baz, and Jessica Cruz, as well as an Alien Lantern, Sinestro, and Kilowog. So, who are these people and why are they important to the Green Lantern mythology? And that's what we're here to explain. Alan Scott.
Important.
Right, Alan Scott. Although Alan Scott is DC Comics' first Green Lantern, he differs heavily from those who would hold that mantle in the decades to follow. Rather than
Yes.
wielding the traditional Emerald Ring of willpower bequeathed to members of the Green Lantern Corps, Alan operates separately from the Corps and uses a ring powered by magic rather than science. Although he can do many
Right.
of the same
Yeah. Yes,
things
he can.
as a core member can do, namely fly and create hard light constructs rather than being weak against the color yellow. Alan's ring is unable to affect anything made of wood.
Yes, that's true.
So,
Only because
kicking
of
off
magic.
his superhero career during the World War II, Alan Scott is one of the few founding members of the Justice Society of America who's still living in modern times. So, this is the guy, if you've seen Green Lantern before, where he's got the red
Here's
shirt
the cape, and he has the cape.
and the cape and the whole thing
The
that you can't really
draws.
see it on the phone.
Yeah, it's the only Green Lantern with a cape.
Right, he's got the cape, he's got the red shirt and the lantern on his chest. He was the original, he was the old school, like one of the first guys, and he still is the oldest member or
He's from the
one of the
yeah. He's the golden
few
age. He's the
founding
golden
members,
age Green Lantern. Yeah.
Golden Age Green Lantern, right, who's still living in modern times. Although in the new
Yes.
52 Earth 2 series, Alan was a younger man whose emerald power came from the green, the elemental force that connects all plant life on Earth, which guys might know from
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
Right. And all we know so far about the Green Lantern series, Alan, is that like the new 52 continuity, he is gay. He is described as Earth's first Green Lantern. However, it remains to be seen if Alan's ring power and battery will be magically powered like in the comics, or if he'll be operating with the standard Green Lantern Corps arsenal.
According
So
to the comics, he never
in
ran
the
with the
new
Green Lantern Corps.
52, in the new 52, he was gay.
Yeah, he was.
So
I was
and didn't they?
devastated. I was
Yeah,
devastated by that.
didn't they do that with Robin?
Yep. One
Was
of the
that when they
Robins.
made Cooks? Was
One
that
of the
when they made
Robins.
Robin gay?
Yeah,
One
they
of the
did
Robin.
it like they did
He
it.
was one of the
Well,
Robins,
yes,
yeah.
one Tim Drake.
Tim Drake.
Because you got to remember too, when you talk about Alan Scott is a it's not Earth One. It's like Justice Society is like another
Oh,
version
really?
of
Well, I saw
of
the
Earth
show
One.
recently.
They
They did
mix it
that movie. You saw that?
right. They kind of mix it and match it. Yeah, it's like the World War
Yeah.
II era, but not the. But it, like
Mm-hmm.
the Earth like everything takes a different course, but they never really
Right.
developed that story further than World
Right.
War
But he
II.
wasn't
Never
gay.
developed.
He wasn't
Nah,
gay.
he wasn't gay originally. No,
Yeah.
they just
They do that. They're
they
doing
want
that.
everybody to be woke. They want
Yeah, they
everybody to
want
be woke.
everybody to be woke and they want to appease the Twitter mobs and all of that. But we don't
Yeah, like the
really
only characters characters that you know are gay, like Constantine. Constantine is a pansexual. He's always been a
I never
pansexual.
well, okay.
He's always been a pansexual.
I didn't
Constantine
know that.
always, yeah, he always went every which way, whatever way
So
the wind went.
yeah,
That's
he's
how he
he's
got down.
he's a different thing altogether. He's not gay. He just
But
crazy.
his preference is the same sex as him. That's his preference. But
Really?
he's not right. But that's the twist with him. His preference is
They didn't touch on that at
males.
all in the movie.
Yeah, that's his preference. But
In the movie, he was
if
with a chick, wasn't he?
he's with a chick, yeah. And he's been
Yeah.
with chicks, and he's been with chicks in the comics. But the love of
And
his
these are
life was a man.
these new woke developments though. But you saying that's some old school shit.
No, that's been like that with Constantine since day one. Like
All
Batwoman
right.
has always been gay. Batwoman's always been gay. She's never been.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that. I thought when they did the show, I knew that they were making her gay. I thought they made her gay for the show.
No, Batwoman's always been gay, straight up and down. Like not even.
Yeah,
You,
that's
you
cool. When you make the character and it's already gay or it's already whatever you want it to be, it's already a white guy or it's already a black guy, then
right. We can live
whatever.
with that. Right. That's cool.
Yeah, make it from scratch, but don't swap shit. That's
Right.
corny.
Don't sweat. Yeah, because it kind of takes away, from the from what we're
Yeah.
used to.
So all
But
right, so that's Alan Scott. We got to get through these other guys. We got Guy
okay, go
Gardner.
ahead. Guy Gardner.
Right. Hal Jordan was the first human to be recruited into the Green Lantern Corps, but when the time came that he was unable to keep the Earth safe, Guy Gardner was tapped as his temporary replacement. In fact, the only reason that the late Abin Sur's ring chose Hal over Guy was because Hal was closer to Abin's crash site. Later on, though, as with John Stewart, Guy would gain a permanent Green Lantern ring and protect Sector 2814 at the same time as his fellow Earthbound Lanterns. Although there have been times when he's been empowered from other sources, such as having Voldarian abilities and wielding a Red Lantern ring. Guy was also one of the original members of the Justice League International. Guy
He was
Gardner
also a Yellow Lantern for a little bit too.
Okay. And he was also he was chiefly well known for being outspoken and arrogant. So count
Yes.
on those traits being present in the Green Lantern TV series. Beyond that, it's hard to say how Guy will be depicted in the show. Although if Hal Jordan isn't involved, then presumably that means the circumstances in which Guy obtains his Emerald Ring will be changed. Perhaps a connection will be established between him and Alan Scott instead. So Hal Jordan may not be, I guess, in this, but okay. So Simon Baz, this is a cool character to me. He looked dope. He had the mask,
Baz.
like the
Yeah,
whole.
Baz. Yeah, I like Baz. I
Within
like
the
Baz.
grand tapestry of DC Comics history, Simon Baz is still a relatively new addition to the Green Lantern mythos, having debuted in 2012. While Simon always had a good heart, he was on the wrong side of the law, and he became a Green Lantern. Weirdly enough, so he was like a criminal at first, and then he became a Green Lantern. Weirdly enough, the ring that chose him was a weird melding of Hal Jordan and Sinestro's rings. So, all right, so Simon Baz, this is a cool character to me. He looked dope. He had the mask, like the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of went with his criminal, his anti-hero personality. Although he would later be given his own unique ring. Like how in Kyle Rayner, Simon wears a black mask to protect his identity. And early into his Green Lantern career, he carried a gun with him for protection in case his ring ran out of
His
power.
ring ran out of power.
That-
Yeah,
right.
he kept
Except
it
for
real. He kept it real,
yeah,
baby. He kept it
I'm
real.
telling you, that was my that's the one that's my favorite Green Lantern all day long. But except for the video game, Simon Baz hasn't appeared outside of the comics. And full disclosure, I never really read Green Lantern. I never got into it, so
Mm-hmm.
I have no really. I can't really compare it. But JJ all day 84. What up, man?
Yeah, because
So
Green Lantern, it's kind of a hard read.
is it?
It's kind
So
of
I
a
never
hard read.
tried. I
Not
never.
not in a bad way, because it's so much history. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's so much
That's
history
the
with
thing with
Green
the big
Lantern.
two. That's why we rock
Yeah.
with indies too, because the big two is a lot of history. It's a lot of information. You kind of, if you really want to understand what's going on and understand the characters, man, you got decades of shit to read, and you kind of have to. But I just never. That's why. That's I guess why I never got into DC is because there's so much damn Marvel. So I'm still chipping away at that. But I do
Right.
dip my toes over in DC every now and then and check out some stuff because it's dope stuff. No question. I just haven't. It's not. I'm not against it. I just haven't had the time to do both as well as I do. The other. But it says, except for one video game, Simon Baz hasn't appeared outside of the comics at all. So the
No,
Green
yeah.
Lantern TV series will introduce him to a lot of people. One way Simon has distinguished himself from other Lanterns was challenging his raw willpower through the ring. Oh, sorry, channeling his raw willpower through the ring to awaken his brother-in-law from a coma, something that had never been done before. Hopefully, a scene like this is included in the show. You know what I mean? Because that would be, I always wanted the ring to do something more than light constructs. Like it should do more.
Oh, it can.
And
It can.
it
It can
can.
power. See, it can power like it can power things. Like let's say if you had a super suit and it was out of power, it can power your suit.
Right.
It can it can create it can like protect you, create force fields around you to protect you if you get knocked out.
Man.
Like it's a lot. You
Crazy.
can talk to it. It can scan things. So like it can scan something, tell you the elemental,
Man,
properties of it, things like that. Like
that's
it's got a
crazy.
lot more uses than what they tell you. But
Yeah, that's dope. That's what I always, that's what I always hoped. And that's a lot of imagination going into that the whole Green Lantern thing. I always thought that was really a very unique. It's always been a very unique character, a very unique power. You know what I mean? Like there's always guys that can fly or have super strength or whatever, but this is one of the unique things. And then we've got Jessica Cruz, so they're gonna have the female female Latina character. Jessica Cruz is another relative newcomer to the Green Lantern world, having debuted in 2014 and originally going by Power Ring as her name after she was forced to become the host for the Ring of Volthoom, a twisted weapon from the sinister Earth 3 that feeds off a person's fears and insecurities. After Jessica was freed from the Volthoom's control, she was chosen to be a Green Lantern. And soon after, she was partnered with Simon Baz, with them protecting Sector 2814, while the other Earth based lanterns dealt with problems elsewhere in the universe. Thanks to projects like Justice League versus the Fatal Five and DC Superhero Girls, Jessica Cruz has gotten a lot more screen time compared to Simon Baz, but the Green Lantern TV series will surely propel her into new heights of popularity. And one thing that the show will need to do in order to effectively uh adapt Jessica is keep her traumatic history intact. Just
she has a lot of
she
trauma.
witnessed
Yeah.
yeah, she witnessed her friends being killed and spent the following several years locked up in her home, afraid to go outside. And as such, she struggles with fear more than your average Green Lantern, but she's still able to overcome these challenges when it counts. So I imagine that she's super susceptible to the yellow rings. Now, Sinestro is, I guess, still going to be green, at least in the beginning of this. Before he embraced the power of fear and became a Green Lantern, the Green Lantern Corps' greatest enemy, all, Sinestro was a Green Lantern himself. Sinestro was determined to instill law and order so much on his own homeworld of Korgar, that he ruled the planet as a dictator. When the Guardians of the universe learned that Sinestro was using his ring's power to instill fear in Krugar's citizens, they expelled him from the core and banished him to an antimatter universe. Unfortunately, not only did Sinestro manage to return, but he'd obtained a yellow power ring from the weaponry of Quard that functions quite similar to the Green Lantern ring, but feeds off the wearer's ability to instill fear rather than their willpower. For years, Sinestro antagonized the Green Lantern Corps on his own, and nowadays he leads the Yellow Lanterns, aka the Sinestro Corps, just like the 2001 Green Lantern movie did. Sounds like HBO Max's Green Lantern TV series will introduce us to its Sinestro while he's still part of the Green Lantern Corps. However, don't be remotely surprised if if the series chronicles his fall from grace, and by the end of the first season, or perhaps later, he's exchanged his his green ring for a yellow one. And then your homeboy Kilowog. Other than Sinestro,
Fan favorite.
Kilowog,
Fan
yeah,
favorite. Come on.
fan favorite. He was in the movie too. So Sinestro. That's how I knew Sinestro was a main character, and Kilowog, because they were in that first movie. I never watched that movie and thought, man, this is horrible. This sucks. Like, I never felt that way about that movie. Always thought Ryan Reynolds was funny, but people hate that movie. They hate it.
Because when you talk about Hal Jordan is iconic as a Green Lantern. So it like if they would have said he was Kyle Rayner and did the story, it'd have been totally different. Because we can accept Kyle Rayner because Kyle Rayner's a jokester. He's always
Right.
telling jokes. He kind of like Spider-Man when he does his thing, and he's
Okay.
a comic book artist. So that would have went over well with us if it would have been the Kyle
Ryan
Rayner
Reynolds,
version,
yeah. Okay.
but not the Hal Jordan, because you want to see that story about how Abbott Soar, how he crash landed. They got he got the ring. It chose him. They came and got him. They took him to OR. Like that's an iconic story of Hal Jordan, and how Hal Jordan is one of the as
That
a
was a
human, he's
story that
one
they
of
told, but you saying
right, but
like
they
the way
kind of
he
messed it up.
played the
Yeah, you
character.
can't do it like that. Yeah, you can't do it like that. Not
Right.
with Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
He would be a better Kyle Rayner, but not a Ryan. Because Ryan Reynolds is, I mean, Kyle. Like you gotta look at it like this: Hal Jordan is square jawed. He's that classic '40s, '50s dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was a pilot. That was everybody. Everybody wanted to be a pilot back then. So he's what I mean. So he was a
Yeah.
pilot, and he was, he'd a fly boy. He do this, he do that. Like that's just that's what he was. So for them to go from somebody as serious as Hal Jordan
Right. Mad
to somebody like
confident.
right, mad confident. He
Yeah.
got a lot of willpower, things like
Right.
that.
Right. Man. So yeah,
He would make a
he
great Kyle Rayner.
okay. So now I understand. Like that, I
Yeah.
never really knew what people hated about that movie or why it was so, you know, offensive to the fans, you know what I mean? But that makes perfect sense. I knew it was something, had to be something like that because the movie
For
itself
me,
was
for me,
bad.
for me, I felt like the movie uh didn't dive deep enough. It didn't give us enough, you know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And with it being Ryan Reynolds, you know what I'm saying, like his character how he is. Like it seems like every
right,
movie he play in, he almost the same dude. Like it's like that's Ryan Reynolds, you know what I'm saying? Cause it's like, you know what I'm saying, he always got that comedy part of him. And it's like
Right,
right,
it,
right.
you know what I'm saying, it
Yeah.
don't never change. Like it don't never,
Nope.
like Eddie
yeah,
Murphy comedy is funny because he do it different every time he
Every
do it,
time. Yeah.
but Ryan Reynolds is the same,
It's the same thing.
you know what I
It's
right.
the
mean?
same. Yep.
You know who he
And
And
is.
that's
that
why
He
people,
plays
right?
that
That's why
thing.
people were upset. Yeah. Hal
Yeah.
Jordan is too serious a dude to be played by Ryan Reynolds.
Now,
hmm
do you think Tom Cruise would have been better?
It'd been more believable.
yeah.
Mm,
I don't know how much better, but it would have been more believable. I don't know
okay.
if I could, but it would have been more believable because, like I said, he's
Because
square jawed.
when I think of Hal Jordan, I think of like Top Gun. You know what I mean? Like Maverick. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why I was saying that because I thought of Well, okay, not Tom Cruise, but Top Gun Tom Cruise. Is that Hal Jordan, or that's he too cocky, or what? Or
Hal Jordan, he is cocky. Hal Jordan is cocky, but that's
so
because
you
he's
think he's
but
based
it's on the
on that?
cocky side because he's a pilot. Like he's a pilot, so he's like pilot cocky.
That's why that's
And
Tom Cruise. That's Top
yeah,
Gun,
yeah,
Maverick.
he would be more like Maverick, but a '40s version of Maverick,
Mm.
like in the 1940s. Like it would be like take Maverick,
Well, see
take
now,
that character from the '40s and
because Hal Jordan was in the 40s.
yeah, he was back in the day.
I thought that was the guy with the red shirt, Allen or
No,
whatever.
no, no. He was Alan. He is from the '40s, but it's kind of like a different Earth, but it's
Oh,
not.
okay, okay,
Like
okay.
they like
So Hal was the first Green
DC
Lantern.
did.
Was Hal the first Green Lantern?
Yeah. He was the
Okay.
first Green Lantern, but it was magic. He wasn't the first one in the Green Lantern Corps, but his
Mhm.
ring was magic. Like it was based off of
Mm.
magic. And then when they came
That's
out with Hal
Allen though.
Jordan, I mean Alan, when they came out with Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps, theirs broke off the battery from the Guardians. So
Okay.
that's the difference. And when you, it's sort of like Jay Gardner, the Flash, the Jay Gardner Flash, the Alan Scott Green
Yeah.
Lantern.
There's a Guy
They're
Gardner
from
and a Jay Gardner.
Well, Guy Gardner was like the modern day Green Lantern that we wanted, like somebody like our age, me, you, and Cooks.
Mm-hmm.
That's our Green Lantern. Because Guy Gardner,
Okay.
he's like an 80. He got the box fade.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
you do.
mean?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, he arrogant, he cocky, he listen to hip hop stuff like that.
Right, right.
He's very outspoken and opinionated. He don't give a damn.
So Ryan
You know what I
Reynolds could
mean?
have played him.
Nah, he couldn't have played Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner,
No?
because Guy Gardner. All right, look, when you send a Green Lantern in to get somebody, they're like cops. They're cops, but they're for the universe. So
Right.
like, if you send Guy Gardner in, Guy Gardner is the dude that if you want to, let's just say if you want to go in there and get somebody and be subtle about it, you don't send Guy Gardner because he ain't coming in there like that. He coming in there
Right.
like, yo, like I'm here to get cooks.
He got a
And he'd be like,
baseball
cook.
bat. He got a big ass baseball bat in the picture
Yeah,
that he
because
made.
he would actually use constructs like that
Yeah.
and be giving out work. Like Guy Gardner gave out
Mm-hmm.
work. He even got into a fight with Hal Jordan. Like they got into a fist fight. So Guy Gardner is just Guy Gardner is the man, and people love his character. He is actually was is a beloved Green Lantern. Fan wise, fans love him, man.
Yeah, that's him
Mm-hmm.
there with the bat.
Yeah, that's Guy Gardner right there with the bat. Yeah, like, he ain't no joke. Guy Gardner's no joke. But he's the more brash one. He's the
Right.
more one that he just Guy Gardner let loose.
Mm-hmm.
He in order to get like if he was fighting a villain and about to bring him, he would level a whole city just to bring him in. And they'd be
Mm-hmm.
like, "Yo, you can't do that." He'd be like, "Man, look, whatever. I
Yeah,
got the
he from the
job done."
90s. He from the 90s.
Right? He's from the '90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He like
Yeah.
Tupac. He the Tupac of the Green
Yeah,
Lantern.
action like an action movie from the 90s.
Right.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon or
Yeah.
some shit.
Yeah. He's the John Wick of the Green Lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep, yep. And so that leaves Kilowog. And other than
Kilowog trains
Sinestro,
everybody.
right. And other than Sinestro, Kilowog is arguably the most famous non-human character
Yes,
in the
Green
Green
Lantern. Yes, he is.
and he served as the Green Lantern's Corps drill sergeant. His job is to ensure that new recruits, who he refers to as poozers, learn how to effectively, use their power rings and are ready for combat. But Kilowog often jumps into battle without a moment's hesitation. And when the Green Lantern Corps was relaunched into comics following Hal Jordan's resurrection, he was among the first veterans to be brought back in. One can reasonably surmise that Kilowog will retain his position as the Green Lantern Corps' trainer in the Green Lantern series, but beyond that, it's unclear how much he'll be spotlighted in on the show. Kilowog was previously portrayed by Michael Clark Duncan in the Green Lantern movie, but his appearance was quite different than how he looks in the comics. So fingers crossed that the show depicts him in a more physically faithful to the
Yeah.
comic manner. And that accounts for all of that's all the main Green Lanterns who will appear in the upcoming HBO Max series. Though you can expect plenty other wielders of the green energy of willpower to pop their heads in. For those of you wondering why Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, and Kyle Rayner weren't mentioned to appear in the show, the former two were previously said to be starring in Green Lantern Corps. So perhaps that means the movie still is in development rather than shelved. As for Kyle, it's a coin flip on whether he'll appear on the big screen or small screen first. Though, given how popular he is, it's difficult to imagine him ever being adapted for live action. Stay tuned to Cinema Blend for more updates on how the Green Lantern series is progressing and keep track. So let me ask you this: where was Green Lantern during the Snyder Cut?
He was in there. Not Hal Jordan, but the Green Lantern Corps showed up to fight Darkseid.
But how come he's not one of the? Ain't he supposed to be one of the Justice League?
Yes. Yes, he is one of the members of the Justice League.
My
One of their
opinion,
strongest members too.
Why wasn't he one of the members in the movie? In the
my
DC?
opinion, that's the writer's fault. That's the people. That's them. And that. But Stu, correct me if I'm wrong. I know you probably know more. So
He might have
I
been off
feel,
Earth. He might have been off Earth at the time.
you know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
And rights, and don't ain't it something about some rights? Like don't the
Yeah, you gotta have the
rights.
right. Yeah, somebody else got the rights for the Green Lantern. Yeah, sort of like
Must
the
be
Marvel
that.
thing, where they could
Must be
show
that.
him, but he can't be. Yeah, because you could
Yeah.
say that.
Whoever
You could
owned the
say Hal
movie.
Jordan was
Yeah.
just off planet. Yeah, you could just say, well, he was off planet at the time, handling something
Because
But
somewhere else.
it's
oh,
like
and let me tell y'all this too. I know y'all know. If y'all don't know, at the end of that movie, that was supposed to be Green Lantern talking to Bruce Wayne, not Martian Manhunter.
Oh,
really.
word?
Yes,
Really?
yes. But because of the rights and this and that,
Mhm.
we got
They had to
Martian
make it into
Manhunter
March.
at the end.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's lame, bro. That's
You
lame.
know what I mean?
That's just lame.
So
They gotta
sad.
stop. Yeah, they gotta stop. That's lame.
Because if y'all remember at the part when Darkseid was tearing everything up, that one got killed and the little ring flew off. Not Darkseid, but Steppenwolf, and the little
Yeah.
ring flew off. And then
Yeah.
remember in the post credit nightmare. Remember when Superman had Batman mask and he was flying over the what you call her, you know, Kilowog they said was dead in that pile of rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
So
seen him.
so
Yeah.
so we should get. I'm really hope Ayers cut, Snyder cut, whatever. I hope we get some type of Green Lantern in the future.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
You know
need.
what I
because
Yeah,
mean?
Green Lantern was involved in that because we seen the bodies, so they were there.
yeah, we did. Yeah, they were there. Yeah,
So
and the
it,
green.
it
Like I said, a Green Lantern is one of the most powerful combatants in the DC universe. Period. That
they
Power
went
Ring,
out.
especially a focused Green Lantern. The more focused they are,
Mm-hmm.
the stronger their
Mhm.
constructs, and the harder it is to stop a Green Lantern.
Yeah, man.
And didn't Steppenwolf said no more lanterns and no more Kryptonians to guard these boxes. That's why he was able to
Yeah.
get to them. Something
Yep.
like that.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. And but yeah, like yo, that was when I was a kid, man. Green Lantern was always one of my favorite. From the cartoons and all of that, like the toys and all of that back in the day. Like Green Lantern was dope. So I was mad happy when the movie came out. It was cool to me. But
Hmm.
I think this is gonna be the shit. I think this show is gonna be dope.
I do
Cause
too.
I
I
I
can't wait.
love bro, it's HBO. Like, come on. Speaking of HBO shows, y'all, Sopranos, one of arguably the best TV show ever created. A lot of the critics call it that. Um, I personally give that to Game of Thrones, but Sopranos is a close second. Cooks, I know you didn't really get into Sopranos. Stu, did you watch Sopranos?
No, I didn't watch it yet. I didn't have a chance.
You never
Check
watched
it
the
out.
show,
I
The
mean, well,
Sopranos?
the show. No, the new one. No, the
No,
original
no, the
Sopranos. Yeah.
show, the HBO
Oh, the show
show.
Sopranos. Yeah. Well, yeah, that was dope.
Okay,
Well, I was blown away.
all right. So we segueing into this movie, The Many Saints of Newark. And a Jerseyite yourself, I thought maybe you had seen this movie by now.
Not yet. As soon as I can. I tried to get it. and then watch it, but it's not available yet. But when it does, give me about give me a couple days.
See, I got it on
By the time
HBO
next
Max.
by the time this next is it on is it on there?
Yes, if you
Yeah, I
have
get it.
the only if you have the ad-free version. If you pay the $9.99 version, no. But if you pay the $14.99 version, the ad-free version, then they give you the movie. I only had
Oh,
I had the with ads version because I don't have a Fire Stick. I just have all the streaming services, like all of them.
no,
And
I got all the streaming services too through my
I
Fire
know,
Stick.
I know, but I'm literally paying for all of them separately. You know what I mean? I
Well,
don't
I'm
pay
getting
for
them all
cable.
free, sir. I'm getting them
I
all
don't
free,
pay for
sir.
cable TV. I got my internet and my streaming services. That's how I rock.
I mean,
But
that's how it goes down nowadays.
yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna spin it up on there. If it's on H, because I did when I went on there, it was a good copy. I didn't have time to watch it. Then I went back on the next day, and I couldn't get
yeah,
it to. I just couldn't get it to spin up. I should have just
yeah,
watched it the day I had it up, because
yeah.
sometimes it does
Well,
that.
it's it was for me. It was a letdown in the fact that I really wanted this movie to be about Tony in his 20s, like Tony coming up, like late teens, early 20s, like let's see Tony Soprano's story. But it was not about him at all. He was like a side character. It was about the movie is about Dicky Moltisanti, Christopher's father.
Okay.
So, which is Tony's uncle, which is why he looks after Christopher in the show, why he takes care of him. But he kills Christopher in the end.
Okay.
But so but yeah, the movie's about his dad because his dad is the guy that mentored Tony and got Tony into the game. See, Tony was trying to be a football star. He was trying to be a college student, and Dickie was the one that brought him into the street and got him into that life. And but we don't really see a lot of that. In this whole movie, it's made by surprisingly, it's made by and written by the guy that made and wrote the show. But it is so different than the show. Like it is like, man, it was. It's hard to explain, man. It's like a just. It seemed like it was made by someone else. It does not feel like Sopranos at all. It did not feel like Sopranos, but it was literally chock full of Easter eggs and like character. It was straight up fan service. It's a lot like Wu-Tang. That's why I wanted to talk about this one too. It's a lot like the Wu-Tang series in that it's just every scene is reminding you something from the show, or and all the characters are like the people in the show when they're younger. So everybody you see is people from the show, but they're younger, but they're doing really cliche stuff. It was a lot of cringy stuff going on. You had like okay, like I said, remember so Tony Soprano kills Christopher in the show. He you know, makes him choke, like they get in a car accident and dude's all fucked up, and Tony knows that he ain't gonna quit, doing drugs and fucking up, and he done damn near killed the baby that wasn't in the car but would have been killed if he was in the car. So Tony's like, nah, I just he can't keep living, so he just cut off his air supply and the dude died. And that's sort of his nephew. It's a younger cat. And so in the movie, in the movie, he's narrating the movie, Christopher. So he tells you like, oh, this is the guy that killed me. This is the guy I went to hell for. Talking about Tony. But it was so the baby he- it was I don't know. It was hard to it was just hard to put together to feel like
It's probably a hard watch. Yeah,
it's
it's probably a
not
hard watch.
it's not Sopranos, dude. It was really like a cheap version. It was disappointing. But the good news is it seems like there's gonna be a sequel, and the sequel will
Okay.
be about Tony in his 20s, growing up, coming up, doing his thing.
So you saying
So
this was more like a setup to
it was definitely a setup, but it was more of a fan service thing. It was just, like so when Christopher's a baby and every time they bring the baby near Tony, it starts to cry, and she's like, every time he gets near you, Tony, he cries. And then some old lady goes, sometimes babies know, what the future is gonna bring. It was just mad cringy, dude, because it was like so obvious. You know what I mean? Like, because he kills him, so they made this whole little corny scene. And it was just, I really wanted to like this movie, and they made it very hard. But I
Okay.
don't know. I really wanted to like it as a fan of Sopranos. You know, this
Because
this
I haven't heard any talk about it, man. Nobody's really talking about it.
man, I
Nobody's
was
really so.
anticipating the hell out of this movie.
We all were because we like Sopranos so much, man.
Right.
Sopranos is great. So it is what it
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah, man. But
Hmm.
so who saw Venom?
Yeah, I got
You,
to see it. I got
Oh,
to
you.
I
see it.
I didn't get a chance to see it yet.
saw it.
I got to
Cooks.
see it.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to see it yet.
Yeah, so well, ain't no spoilers really because the movie. Well, Cooks, tell me what you thought about it.
The one thing I didn't like about the movie was it's too many damn jokes. Too many jokes. Too many jokes. Whenever I do get a chance to read about Venom or hear about Venom from the start, it was more get away from him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like run. Like that's
he's
one thing
dangerous,
about
creepy.
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
That's one thing about the old movies. Like when Venom came, it wasn't about the joking. It was more about the
right,
being a badass. You can't mess with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I wish you would
right.
try to mess with me. You don't know the power I got now. But
Yeah,
then in this one, it was more about just joking and joking and joking and eat this and eat this and joke the joke. And I'm
yeah.
like,
I want to
man,
eat people, and he's like,
and I'm
no.
like, and then like I enjoyed the action. I enjoyed the storyline. I enjoyed how everything went down. But it was just the comedy and the characters that they were portraying that they was acting like dude playing Tom, like dude that's playing the host of the dude that
Carnage.
Venom get into. Yeah, him. No, not
Carnage.
him, but the other one. You know, the dude, not Carnage. I mean, not Venom, but the dude that's being Venom.
Oh,
Oh,
The the character name though. The character name though. Brock.
Eddie Brock.
Eddie
Eddie
Brock.
Brock.
Eddie Brock.
Yeah, you had
I
me
like
fucked up.
I
Yeah,
like Eddie Brock. I like Eddie Brock. I like his character. I like the dude.
yeah.
But it's like
Oh, Tom
Venom
Hardy's
just
great, and the character,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
It's just it's in the character and the actual character, like the Eddie Brock person, I like
yeah,
him. And I
yeah,
like but just Venom just joke too much. It's like it's too much
yeah.
joking. So
Well,
maybe
it's
it's something I
yeah.
missed.
Well, no, you're
But
right. It's like a buddy movie. It's
yeah,
a buddy
yeah.
movie, and this is a sequel, but it was not a continuation. It was a reboot. This was a reboot of
Yeah.
the first movie, in my opinion. Like the first movie was like you said, it's a little bit of joking, and it's like, it's the struggle between Venom and Eddie living with each other and being symbiotic, and Venom wants to eat the people, and Eddie says, no, you can't eat the people, and it's that dynamic, back and forth. And so we did that in the first movie, and then we got to this big finale, and the two monsters, Riot and Venom, they go at it. It's a big, battle and a big climactic ending. This movie, same thing. The whole movie is banter back and joking, them struggling to the point they actually break up. There's a literal breakup in the movie where Venom takes off and runs off, leaves Eddie, and it's
Hmm.
a whole. But it's yeah, it was done better than it was the first movie done better. That's the way I thought about it. But it was not a continuation. It wasn't something new. We should have seen what Venom and Eddie are doing now, not what they was doing in the beginning. Because really, they still doing that. Like that's still what they doing. They should have been on some Lethal Protector shit. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
y'all know about they should have been doing something, you know, next.
Like,
They just
I'm gonna give you one spoiler, Stu. I'm gonna give you one little spoiler scene. There's a scene in there where Eddie Brock was frustrated, was mad. So Venom is making him breakfast and just tearing the house up. I just was like that part right there. I was like, I just didn't like that. Put me on some. Harry and the Hendersons type shit, like the monster, you know, the monster tearing, you know what I'm saying, like the monster tearing up the house
Harry and
while
the
the human,
Henderson.
you
Right,
know what I mean,
right.
the
Yeah, yeah,
monster tearing up the house while the human trying to act like they ain't tearing up the
yeah.
house, and then they gonna get mad and say, "Get the hell out!" But that I was
That
like
old
that.
dynamic. Yeah.
Like that's we want serious Marvel. We don't want joke Marvel all the time. You know what I
I
mean?
want it. Yeah. Well, that's another thing, man. It's like it sucks that it's sad that every movie since Guardians has tried to be Guardians. Guardians of the Galaxy came out. It was success. It was a smash
Yeah,
hit,
yeah, it was a
runaway
smash
hit,
hit. So
and
let
now
Guardians.
so
Yeah,
that's
let
Hollywood
Guardians
for you.
be. Yeah, let
Yeah, but
Guardians be
that's
Guardians.
Hollywood. They find something that works and they want to repeat the formula because it's they're scared to make a movie, and I get it. Like they cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make these films. They got to make a lot of money to pay that back and then make profit off of it. So they are scared to fuck with a formula that works.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sad for the fans. It's sad for the Marvel comics and the stuff that we're missing because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Stu, we've been rocking like 2 hours.
Yeah.
We could wrap it
Uh,
here.
but right before we go, Stu, I know you got the Cook's book of the week. Well, I have my Stu book of the month. So,
Ah,
Oh, the Stew Book of the
the
month. Okay.
the Stu book of the month is The Last Ronin 4, The Death of Splinter and
The Devil
Donatello.
Splinter Donatello. Yeah, yeah, I got.
fire.
Yeah, I tried to get it when I was in Hawaii, but I was like, I'll wait till I get home to get that. I heard it was good.
This
I
this
heard it was
I,
good.
now I ain't I don't want to sound like I'm exaggerating, but from book one to right here, this could be a movie. This could
No,
be a
I
movie.
heard the
Yeah,
same thing,
This could
Cooks.
be
I
a
heard the
movie.
same thing. Cooks,
You
I
it's
know
heard
what
the
I
same
very,
mean?
thing. Yeah, I
it's
gotta
very
get it. So
But
good.
I'm going to pick
but
it
I
up.
don't think the world ready. I don't think the world ready to see a turtle die yet. But this would be
Well,
good.
well, I'm going to pick up the Death of Splinter Tello. I'm going to
Get
pick
it,
that up this
man.
week. Yeah, I'm
You
going to
gonna
get it this
love
week.
it. You gonna love it. I read
Yeah.
it twice.
Oh
That's
wow.
one.
Yeah, then I
That's
definitely
I ain't
got to
gonna
get it
lie.
then. I definitely got to get it then.
And y'all, you know what? Y'all my comic brothers. We comic family. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna tell y'all this. It's a secret about Cooks. This book did the last Ronin. I probably read these right here faster than any other comic in the last 2 years. Like I read
mm,
these instantly. Like I don't know what it is about these last Ronins, the turtles, but it's like
Might just be the
I,
thing. Might be your thing. Might just be
no,
your
you know
they're
what I'm
jam.
good.
saying?
They're good. It's
Yeah,
that
they are
good.
good. They are good. They
That
are
good.
really
It's
good.
not. Listen, you don't have to be a Ninja Turtle fan at all to dig these books at all. This is like because I never read Ninja Turtles, never
Mm.
until Last Ronin, and so. But I grew up on the cartoon as a kid. I know the Ninja Turtles, but to
Hmm.
see this Ninja Turtle with the black bandana, all the weapons, he got all the weapons. He got the black bandana. He's straight up like a ninja, and I'm like, yo, this is ill. And then you're like,
I see.
who is this guy? But yo, Stu,
Yeah, I think still.
Stu got to go, man. His
Yeah,
wife beating
yeah,
on him and shit. I
yeah.
keep
We got to
seeing the
sign. Yeah, we got to
rolling
sign.
pins
All
We
right,
got
coming
to
in the
sign
all
out.
camera.
right. We got to sign it out. We got to sign
All
it
right,
out.
brother. Yo, thank y'all for coming, man, and chilling with us,
No
man.
doubt.
This was definitely a great episode, man. Sixth element of hip hop, Reno Noir, Stu Dog, Cooks Podcast 24 signing off, y'all.
Peace out,
All right.
y'all. Much love, Stu. All right,
Peace,
Reno.
Peace.
peace. Peace.